হ্যালো হ্যালো গুড ইভিনিং। প্রথমেই আপনাদের কাছ থেকে একটু ক্ষমা চেয়ে নিচ্ছি যে আমাদের একটু দেরি হচ্ছে। তিনজন অতিথির মধ্যে একজন অলরেডি এসে গেছেন, মেয়র ফিরহাদ হাকিম। বাকি দুজনও এসে পড়বেন। আমরা খুব দ্রুতই অনুষ্ঠান শুরু করব। টিল সাচ টাইম প্লিজ বেয়ার উইথ আস। থ্যাংক ইউ। An important announcement to make. Currently, a নতুন বিল্ডিং আপনারা দেখছেন ডিকে স্পোর্টস কমপ্লেক্স। ইটস গেটিং ইনঅগরেটেড। প্লেকটা আমাদের অনারেবল মেয়র ফিরহাদ হাকিম জাস্ট ওইটা স্থাপন করছেন। কাইন্ডলি গিভ হিম আ বিগ হ্যান্ড। সো আমাদের অনুষ্ঠানটা আনুষ্ঠানিকভাবে হয়তো মঞ্চের ওপর থেকে শুরু হয়নি, কিন্তু মঞ্চের যে পেছনে নতুন কমপ্লেক্সের পাশ থেকে অলরেডি শুরু হয়ে গেছে। আর মূল অনুষ্ঠানে আমরা খুব দ্রুত ঢুকবো। আপনারা অনেকক্ষণ ধরে বসে আছেন। সো ওয়ান্স এগেন জাস্ট অ্যাপোলোজাইজ ফর দিস ডিলে উইচ ওয়াজ আনঅ্যাভয়েডেবল। আমরা জাস্ট একটুর মধ্যেই অনুষ্ঠান শুরু করছি। থ্যাংক ইউ। The case welcomes the Honorable Mayor Sri Firhad Hakim, who has lent tremendous support to this club time and again, who is, of course, he is the mayor of the city, but is also an extended member of the DKS family. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now let me start. Let me welcome you all to this plot of land, which is also widely regarded as the DKS country. Usually, যে কোনো হাই প্রোফাইল অনুষ্ঠানে আজকের মতো রেওয়াজ হচ্ছে ইংরেজিতে বলা এবং ইংরেজিতে ইন্ট্রোডাকশনটা শুরু করা, বাট আমি আজকে একটু ব্যতিক্রমী হতে চাই। তার কারণটাও বলি। আজ থেকে ৯৭ বছর আগে এই বাংলার কিছু মানুষ, ধুতি পরা কিছু বাঙালি, তারা ঠিক করেন যে দক্ষিণ কলকাতার একটা ক্রীড়া প্রতিষ্ঠান দরকার। কারণ আপনারা জানেন যে উত্তরে তার আগে মোহনবাগান ক্লাব, শোভাবাজার টাউন, এমনকি ইস্টবেঙ্গল ক্লাবও কিন্তু উত্তর কলকাতা থেকে উৎসারিত। তারপর এখানে ক্যালকাটা সাউথ ক্লাব হয় ১৯২০ সালে, কিন্তু তাও তাদের মনে হতে থাকে যে দক্ষিণ কলকাতার মধ্যবিত্তদের, উত্তরের এই অ্যারিস্টোক্রেসি বাঙালিকে উত্তর দেওয়ার একটা কোনো মঞ্চ দরকার। তাই ৯ জন বাঙালি মিলে, তাদের মধ্যে ৫ জনই বদ্যি, ৯ জন বাঙালি মিলে এই ক্লাবটা তৈরি করেন, যে ক্লাবটার নাম ছিল অরিজিনালি সাউথ ক্যালকাটা ক্লাব। এই ৯ জন বাঙালির নামটা আজকের দিনে, স্পেশালি যেদিনটা আমরা 97th ইয়ার অফ দ্য ক্লাব সেলিব্রেট করছি, সেদিন আরও বেশি বলা দরকার। ক্ষিতীশ দাশগুপ্ত, শ্রী জ্যোতিষ দাশগুপ্ত, পৃথ্বীশ দাশগুপ্ত, নারায়ণ সেন, নিহার সেন, ৫ জন। প্রথম ৫ জনের নাম বললাম, ৫ জনই বুদ্ধি। এবং তার সঙ্গে বাকি ৪ জনের উদ্যম। এসএন ব্যান্ডো, খুব উচ্চপদস্থ সরকারি কর্মচারী ছিলেন, সেই সময় চিফ ইঞ্জিনিয়ার ছিলেন এসএন ব্যান্ডো, সুধাংশু মুখার্জি, ভজহরি গাঙ্গুলি এবং এসএন দেব। ইউজুয়ালি 9th ব্যাটালিয়ন বলা হয় ম্যাড্রাস রেজিমেন্টকে, যারা ইন্ডিয়ান আর্মির ওল্ডেস্ট রেজিমেন্ট, কিন্তু এই 9 ব্যাটালিয়ন মিলে ঠিক করেন যে এই ক্লাবকে মধ্যবিত্ত বাঙালির অহংকার হিসেবে একটা উচ্চতায় পৌঁছে দিতে হবে। আজ ভাবাই যায় না যে 1928 সাল যদি কেউ ফিরে দেখেন, সেই সময়টা বাংলার বুকে সাইমন কমিশন এসছে, তীব্র বিরোধিতার মুখে পড়েছে। কারণ তার আগে লাহোরে লালা রাজপথ রায়, তিনি প্রাণ দিয়েছেন সাইমন কমিশনের পুলিশের লাঠিতে। সেই অগ্নিগর্ভ বাংলায় ডিসেম্বর মাসে নেতাজি সুভাষচন্দ্র বসু আয়োজন করেছেন ইন্ডিয়ান ন্যাশনাল কংগ্রেসের এজিএম। ওই সময় ভাবাই যেত না। তার মধ্যেও কিছু সৃষ্টিশীল ঘটনা ঘটছিল। যেমন 1928 সালে ইন্ডিয়ান ক্রিকেট কন্ট্রোল বোর্ড ফর্মড হয়। 1928 সালে আমস্টারডাম অলিম্পিক্সে ভারত হকি সোনা জেতে, প্রথম ভারতের হকি সোনা জয় শুরু 1928 সাল দিয়ে। তাই 1928 সালটা অত্যন্ত ইম্পর্ট্যান্ট ইয়ার, আর বাংলার বুকেও খুব ইম্পর্ট্যান্ট ইয়ার। কারণ সেই বছরই দক্ষিণ কলকাতার সংসদ, অরিজিনালি সাউথ ক্যালকাটা ক্লাব, এই নামে শুরু হয়। কিছুদিন বাদে দেখা যায় যে কোথাও একটা আইডেন্টিটি কনফিউশন হচ্ছে, কারণ সাউথ ক্লাব 1920-তে তৈরি, 1928-এ তৈরি দক্ষিণ কলকাতা ক্লাব, সাউথ ক্যালকাটা ক্লাব, একটা কোথাও কনফিউশন হচ্ছে। তাই স্বাধীনতার পরে 1949-এ এটার নাম হয় দক্ষিণ কলকাতা সংসদ। প্রচুর বিখ্যাত মানুষ সেই ক্লাবের সঙ্গে জড়িয়ে থেকেছেন। স্বাধীনতার পরে পুলিশ কমিশনার, উচ্চপদস্থ আমলা, কজনের নাম করব, আমি কয়েকজনের কথা বলছি। শ্রী মনীশ গুপ্ত, শ্রী জহর সরকার, শ্রী প্রসাদ রঞ্জন রায়, শ্রী বিকে সাহা এবং আরও অনেক নাম, আমি সব নাম এক্ষুনি মনে পড়ছে না, কিন্তু তারা ডিকেএসকে দারুণভাবে চালনা করে আজকে এই ৯৭তম বছরে নিয়ে এসেছেন। আর তার মধ্যে একজন খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট মানুষ ছিলেন কাচ্চু মুখার্জি, যার নামে কাচ্চু মুখার্জি প্যাভিলিয়ন। এই মুখোপাধ্যায় পরিবার এখান থেকে একটু দূরে সতীশ মুখার্জি রোড ওদের বাড়ি। আমরা স্পোর্টসের জগতে পরিবার বলতে বুঝি উত্তরে রায় পরিবার, বেহালায় গঙ্গোপাধ্যায় পরিবার, না তার বাইরেও একটা পরিবার 60-এর দশকে কলকাতার স্পোর্টস ম্যাপে জল করতো। এখানে জয়দীপ মুখার্জি বসে আছেন, তিনি জানবেন। ওই পরিবারে একজন ছিলেন সাচ্চু মুখার্জি। রবিন মুখার্জি 60টা ফার্স্ট ক্লাস ম্যাচ খেলেছেন। রূপা মুখার্জি তার বোন, তিনি ইন্ডিয়ান টেবিল টেনিসের স্টার ছিলেন। নাচ্চু মুখার্জি, তিনিও ইন্ডিয়ান টেবিল টেনিস খেলেছেন। অ্যাকচুয়ালি ওই পরিবারের একজনকেই উইকিপিডিয়াতে খুঁজে পাবেন না, তার নাম কাচ্চু মুখার্জি। আর এই কাচ্চু মুখার্জি has laid the foundation for this club. এই শুরুর দিকে এটা হয়ে যাওয়ার পর আজকের এই ডিকেএস, মডার্ন ডিকেএসে যদি কেউ টেন্ডুলকারোচিত ভূমিকা নিয়ে থাকেন, তার নাম অবশ্যই হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি। কিন্তু তার আগে ডিকেএসের গাভাস্কার বলতে তার সমসাময়িকরা মনে করেন কাচ্চু মুখার্জিকে। এই দুজনের জন্য কিন্তু একটা রাউন্ড অফ অ্যাপ্লজ হওয়া উচিত, এরা ছাড়া ডিকেএস হতো না। এটা শীতের হাততালি মনে হচ্ছে, গরমের হাততালি তো আরো জোরালো হয় জানতাম। থ্যাংক ইউ। 97 খুব ট্রিকি একটা নাম্বার। 97 মানে আর 3 দূরে। ডিকেএস এখন 97 বছরে পৌঁছেছে। একটু পরেই এসে পড়বেন সৌরভ গাঙ্গুলি, 38টা ইন্টারন্যাশনাল সেঞ্চুরির মালিক। আজকে আমায় বলছিলেন যে 97 থেকে 100-এর মধ্যে আমি অন্তত 15টা সেঞ্চুরি ফেলে এসেছি। ওই 15টা যোগ হলে আমার সেঞ্চুরি দাঁড়ায় 53টা। কিন্তু ডিকেএস টিম গেমে বিশ্বাসী, ডিকেএসের আনডিফাইং একটা স্পিরিট আছে। ডিকেএসের মেম্বাররা ডিকেসাইটসদের সঙ্গে যদি কথা বলেন তাহলে বুঝবেন যে ডিকেএস শুধু একটা ক্লাবের নাম নয়, ডিকেএস কিন্তু একটা কমিউনিটি। আর এই কমিউনিটি এত একাত্ম যা তারা কিন্তু 100 করবেই। পৃথিবীর কোনো শক্তি ডিকেএসকে সেঞ্চুরি করা থেকে আটকাতে পারবে না। আপাতত অনুষ্ঠানে আসি। প্রথমে আমি একটু মাননীয় আজকের অনুষ্ঠানের প্রধান অতিথি মাননীয় ফিরহাদ হাকিম, আবার বলি যে তিনি কলকাতার হয়তো মহানাগরিক, কিন্তু এই ক্লাবের তিনি একজন বড় দাদা, যিনি আপদে বিপদে সবসময় এই ক্লাবের বটগাছ হয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছেন। তিনি না থাকলে এই আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠান এবং সুপারস্ট্রাকচারটা সম্ভবই ছিল না। ক্যান আই হ্যাভ ফিরহাদ হাকিম অন স্টেজ প্লিজ? একটা জোর হাততালি হোক ফিরহাদ হাকিমের জন্য। এরপর অবশ্যই দ্য এভার ডিপেন্ডেবল প্রেসিডেন্ট অফ দ্য ক্লাব শ্রী দেবাশিস কুমার। ইদানিং মঞ্চে দুর্দান্ত পারফরমেন্স করছেন, কিন্তু আজকে অন্য ভূমিকায়, সভাপতি গুরুগম্ভীর ভূমিকায়। এবং ফাইনালি দ্য ক্যারিসমেটিক ডিকেএস সেক্রেটারি সিন্স দ্য আর্লি 70s, হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি প্লিজ। ওকে, হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি অ্যাজ ইউজুয়াল ইজ ভেরি বিজি। লিয়েন্ডার পেসকে গেটে আনতে গেছেন। এই কাজগুলো সাধারণত অনেক সময় অনেকে ডেলিগেট করে, কিন্তু তিনি হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি কাজগুলো নিজে করেন উদ্যোগী হয়ে। সো এক্ষুনি লিয়েন্ডার পেসও এসে পড়বেন। আপাতত হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি এবং লিয়েন্ডার পেস এসে গেলেই আমরা অনুষ্ঠান শুরু করে দেব। Once again, big round of applause for Hiranmoy Chatterjee, please. এবার আমি একটু আমাদের যিনি চিফ গেস্ট তাকে একটু বুকে দিয়ে আমি একটু স্বাগত জানাবো। আমাদের খুব নামী অ্যাক্ট্রেস হু ইজ ডুইং সো ওয়েল, দেবলীনা কুমার, আমি একটু মঞ্চে ডাকছি শ্রী ফিরহাদ হাকিমকে পুষ্পস্তবক দিয়ে স্বাগত জানানোর জন্য। থ্যাংক ইউ দেবলীনা। এবার ইনগরাল ল্যাম্প লাইটিং আমি একটু মাননীয় অতিথিদের একটু বলছি, তারপর ল্যাম্প লাইটিংয়ের পরে আবার আমরা মূল অনুষ্ঠানে ফিরব। ইনগরাল ল্যাম্প লাইটিংয়ের জন্য আপনি তিনজনকে একটু ডাকছি, শ্রী ফিরহাদ হাকিম, শ্রী দেবাশিস কুমার এবং শ্রী হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি। ল্যাম্প লাইটিংয়ের জন্য আসেন প্লিজ। মেম্বার্স অফ দ্য ডিকেএস লেডিজ সার্কেলস আপনারা দেখছেন, তারা সাহায্য করছেন। থ্যাংক ইউ। এবার আমাদের ক্লাবের প্রেসিডেন্ট শ্রী দেবাশিস কুমারকে পুষ্পস্তবক দিয়ে স্বাগত জানাবেন অভিনেত্রী লহমা ভট্টাচার্য। দেবলীনা কুমারকে আবার ডাকছি হিরণময় চট্টোপাধ্যায়ের হাতে পুষ্পস্তবক তুলে দেওয়ার জন্য। এবার ডিকেএস এর পক্ষ থেকে একটা ছোট্ট সম্মাননা জ্ঞাপন করা হবে মেয়র ফিরহাদ হাকিমকে। আমি বারবার করে বলেছি, অনারেবল মেয়র শুধু মহানাগরিক হিসেবে নন, বটগাছের মতো পাশে দাঁড়িয়ে বিভিন্ন সাহায্য করেছেন। ছোট একটা সম্মাননা তাকে জ্ঞাপন করবেন হিরণময় চট্টোপাধ্যায় এবং শ্রী দেবাশিস কুমার। আমি জাস্ট লেখাটা পড়ছি, তারপরে সম্মাননা জ্ঞাপন। As the Honorable Mayor of Kolkata, your continued efforts to elevate this city to the next level has been simply game-changing. But for us at DKS, this is a heartfelt acknowledgement of the support, warmth, and direction that you have lent to this 97-year-old club. There is no way that it can be returned, but there is no harm in saying, sir, thank you. ববি হাকিম, ফিরহাদ হাকিম, একটা জোর হাততালি হোক ওর সাপোর্টের জন্য। সম্মাননা জ্ঞাপন করবেন ক্লাব প্রেসিডেন্ট এবং ক্লাব সেক্রেটারি। এবার আমি ক্লাব প্রেসিডেন্টকে I'd call upon the president of this club, Sri Debashish Kumar, to deliver his welcome address. Thank you.
গুড ইভিনিং, শুভ সন্ধ্যা। আজকে ডিকেএসের যারা সদস্য এবং যারা ডিকেএসের সঙ্গে যে কোনোভাবে জড়িয়ে আছেন তাদের প্রত্যেকের আজকে গর্ব এবং অহংকারের দিন। আজকে যে ক্লাবটা আজ থেকে ৯৭ বছর আগে তার চলার পথ শুরু করেছিল, যে চারা গাছ সেদিনকে বপন করা হয়েছিল, আর সেটা মহির হয়ে রূপান্তরিত হয়েছে। এবং এই ডিকেএস আপনারা জানেন যে স্পেশালি একটা স্পোর্টস ক্লাব। আজকের এই নতুন যে ফেসিলিটিস মেম্বাররা আজ থেকে এনজয় করবেন, তার মধ্যে অনেকটাই স্পোর্টস গেমসের ক্ষেত্রে একটা বড় জায়গা রাখা হয়েছে, যেখানে তারা স্পোর্টস অ্যাক্টিভিটিসগুলো করতে পারবেন। এই ক্লাবে সেটা ক্রিকেট হতে পারে, সেটা লন টেনিস হতে পারে, টেবিল টেনিস হতে পারে। অনেক বাংলায় যারা রিপ্রেজেন্ট করেছে, বাংলাকে প্রতিনিধিত্ব করেছে, তারা এই ক্লাব থেকে অনেকেই খেলা লিয়েন্ডার পেজ এসে বলবে যে জীবনে প্রথম বড় এখানে খেলাটা তার এখান থেকে শুরু করেছিলেন লিয়েন্ডার কালকেও এসেছিল, কালকে এই কথাগুলোই এখানে বসে বলছিল। সৌরভও আসবে। এই ধরনের অজস্র প্লেয়ার আজকে আমাদের মধ্যে। সুনিদা নেই, এই এক একটা এরকম কত মানুষ চলে গেছেন যারা ক্লাবের সঙ্গে জড়িয়েছিলেন। এখনও আজকে আমি দেখছি না, শ্যাম থাপারা কেউ দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, তারাও এখানে রবিবার প্রত্যেকেই এখানে টেনিস খেলেন। তা যাই হোক, এটা একটা স্পোর্টস ক্লাব। আজকে সেই ক্লাবের অনেক অ্যাক্টিভিটিস বেড়েছে। ক্লাব আজ থেকে ৯৭ বছর আগে যারা শুরু করেছিলেন তারা নিশ্চয়ই এতটা ভাবতে পারেননি, কিন্তু তার পরের জেনারেশন তারা সেই ক্লাবটাকে তাদের যে শুরু করা পথ ধরেই তারা এগিয়েছেন এবং ক্লাবটাকে এই জায়গায় নিয়ে গেছেন। তাদের আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাবো। আমি স্পেশালি কলকাতার মেয়র, মহানাগরিক এবং রাজ্যের মাননীয় মন্ত্রীকে আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাবো। তার আনকন্ডিশনাল সাপোর্ট না পেলে এত বড় একটা কাজ আমরা করতে পারতাম না। তাকে আমার অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ। এখানে অনেক গেস্ট এসছেন, অনেক বিখ্যাত মানুষ কলকাতা শহরে সবাই এসছেন। আমি কারোর নাম বলবো, আর কারোর নাম না বললে সেটা অপরাধ হয়ে যাবে। তাই আমি যারা এসছেন আজকে কলকাতা শহরে, যে সমস্ত দামি দামি মানুষরা এসছেন, যারা নিজ নিজ ক্ষেত্রে অত্যন্ত প্রতিষ্ঠিত, তাদের সকলকে আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি। আহ, আমাদের মধ্যে লিয়েন্ডার এসে গেছেন। আমি আর বক্তব্যকে দীর্ঘায়িত করব না, শুধু অনুরোধ করব যে ফেসিলিটিস তৈরি করা খুব কঠিন। আমি সোনাদাকেও ধন্যবাদ জানাবো, তার উদ্যোগ ছাড়া, তার পরিশ্রম ছাড়া এটা করা মুশকিল, এবং ফুল টিম, ডিকেএস টিম, সোনাদার নেতৃত্বে যে টিম কাজ করেছে তাদের অক্লান্ত পরিশ্রম আজকে আমাদের এই সাফল্য এনে দিয়েছে। কিন্তু এটা তৈরি করা খুব কঠিন ছিল, তার থেকেও অনেক বেশি কঠিন কিন্তু এটাকে রক্ষা করা। আমার মনে হয় যে আগামী যারা জেনারেশন তাদের এটাকে রক্ষা করার দায়িত্বটা খুব বেশি করে নিতে হবে। আমি সকলকে ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে আমার বক্তব্য শেষ করছি। নমস্কার।
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ অনারেবল শ্রী দেবাশিস কুমার। লিয়েন্ডার পেস এখানে এসে গেছেন, কিন্তু আপাতত আমরা একটা এভি দেখবো, যে এভিটা বানিয়েছেন খুব বিখ্যাত একজন ডকুমেন্টারি পরিচালক, যিনি দীর্ঘদিন কলকাতা দূরদর্শনে ছিলেন, কলকাতা দূরদর্শনের স্টেশন ডিরেক্টরও ছিলেন। এই ফিল্ডে এ নেম টু রেকন উইথ, শ্রী অভিজিৎ দাশগুপ্ত। ডিকেএসের ওপর, ডিকেএসের এই বর্ণময় যাত্রাপথ, সেটা নিয়ে আমরা একটা এভি দেখব, তারপর আবার অবশ্যই প্রধান অতিথির বক্তব্য শুনবো। থ্যাংক ইউ। ক্যান উই হ্যাভ দ্য এভি প্লিজ?
Calcutta, 1928. The all-British Simon Commission visits Calcutta amid widespread protests. The Bengal Volunteers, a revolutionary group, is formed by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose to fight against British rule. Eminent Bengali visionaries form a club. The South Calcutta Club, or Dakshin Kalikata Sansad. Calcutta sees its first Austin 7 and Ford A. Since then, it has been consistently on the move, with sports activities at its prime. Come the 50s, Satyajit Ray's directorial debut film Pother Panchali is underway. The first passenger flight of Air India International connects Bombay to London. And a young man walks in to fly the club flag high. Flying high, thinking big, yet feet on the ground. The new driver rolls.
Our vision has always been to create a place which would be home away from home, with a trust on sports, which is always on the move and with a spirit of joy and laughter.
DKS's new wing has state-of-the-art facilities, setting a new benchmark. The dynamism is unstoppable.
This institution is a noble institution. We have been here since 1928 and we do not have a union here. It is a place called Home Away from Home, which is fully peaceful without any protests or union.
Not a castle in the air, but in reality. A multi-sports complex with vertical gardens. The dream is to create unparalleled service facility with humor and cheer.
We are on the verge of creating Times Square of Kolkata. The dream is to reach the sky with a smile. This is an oasis where we keep our heads held high.
কেমন লাগলো এবিটা? শুনতে পাচ্ছি না। থ্যাংক ইউ। আপাতত আমাদের দুজন একটু আমাদের যেরকম টি20 ম্যাচে ব্যাটিং অর্ডার চেঞ্জ হয়, খুব হালকা, বেশি বড় চেঞ্জ নয়। দুজন গেস্ট এসে গেছেন যাদের আগে ব্যাটিং অর্ডারে আসার কথা ছিল। তাদের মধ্যে একজন এই মাঠে অ্যাকচুয়ালি এই ডিকেএস ক্লাবে যাদের কথা বলছিলাম, I completely forgot to mention an iconic character, Nirmal Chatterjee. Sri Nirmal Chatterjee was called the Sikenaidu from the East. এই দেশপ্রিয় পার্কে একটা ছক্কা মেরেছিলেন যে 6টা এখান থেকে তীর্থপতির ছাদে গিয়ে পড়েছিল, তীর্থপতি ইনস্টিটিউশনের ছাদে। আর ওই নির্মল চ্যাটার্জির রেকর্ডটা কেউ যদি ইকুয়েল করতে পারেন কোনোদিন, ডিকেএস যদি এখানে কোনো এক্সিবিশন ম্যাচ আয়োজন করে, যদি একটা বাপি বাড়ি যা মারা ছক্কা মারতে পারেন, সেই মানুষটাকে একটু স্টেজে ডাকছি, সৌরভ গাঙ্গুলি। তাকে he will be greeted with a bouquet by actress Lohoma Bhattacharya. হাততালিটা কিন্তু একদম নরওয়ের হাততালি হয়ে গেল। থ্যাংক ইউ। থ্যাংক ইউ সৌরভ। এবার এমন একজনকে ডাকতে চাই, কিন্তু তাকে ডাকার আগে একটু খুব হালকা বলে নিতে চাই যে তিনি যে বংশের মানুষ, সেই বংশের একজন মানুষ বহু বছর আগে বাংলা সাহিত্যে, বাংলা কবিতায় যেসব দুঃসাহসিক কাজ করে গেছেন, আজকের দিনে 2025-এ বসে মনে হয় যে ওটা কি সত্যি না সিনেমা ছিল। অমৃতাক্ষর ছন্দ প্রথম তৈরি করা, ছক ভাঙা, দুঃসাহসী মাইকেল মধুসূদন দত্ত। বাট উনি আজকে যেখানেই থাকুন জানলে খুশি হবেন যে তার বংশধর has done the same with the tennis racket. He has just been a revolutionary character with fitness, with pride. He has contributed to the success of the Indian team over the decades. Recently Hall of Fame আপনারা দেখেছেন 18টা Grand Slam titles, maximum Davis Cup victories. You name Indian tennis and you name Leander Paes. Could we have Leander Paes on the stage, please? দেবলীনা কুমারকে আমি একটু ডাকছি লিয়েন্ডার পেস পুষ্পস্তবক তুলে দেওয়ার জন্য। Could we have Debolina on stage? Thank you. Leander, of course, is a home boy. If memory serves me right, he had won his first tennis title here in this very court. Thank you, Leander. Thank you. Now we go back to the original batting order, and may I request the Honorable Mayor Sri Firad Hakim to deliver his address, please.
আমার কলিগ, আমরা একসাথে কাজ করি, রাসবিহারীর এমএলএ এবং আমার মেম্বার মেয়র ইন কাউন্সিল দেবাশিস কুমার। হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি বললে কিরম দূরে দূরে মনে হয়, আমাদের নিজেদের সোনাদা, আমাদের বাংলার গর্ব সৌরভ বসে আছে, লিয়েন্ডার আছে, আমার আরেকজন কলিগ বাবাই এখানে আছে, এবং যারা এখানে বসে আছেন তারা সবাই আমার অত্যন্ত ক্লোজ এবং অত্যন্ত সম্মানীয়, যারা এখানে বসে আছেন সামনের দিকে। আজকে যখন ডিকেএসকে দেখি, 90 দশকের প্রথম দিকে আমার মেয়েকে খেলানোর জন্যে, টেনিস খেলানোর জন্য সোনাদার কাছে এসেছিলাম। সেই মেম্বারশিপ নিয়েছিলাম। দুজনেই কেউ টেনিস স্টার হলো না, কিন্তু আমি বাবা হিসেবে এসে এখানে বসে তাদের টেনিস খেলাতাম, ছোটটা আর বড়টাকে। কিন্তু তখন থেকে ডিকেএস এর সাথে একটা আলাদা যোগ হয়ে গেল। এবং সোনাদা যেটা সবসময় বলেন যে হোম আউট অফ হোম, we felt that 31st সেলিব্রেশনে যখন কোনো ক্লাবে বাচ্চাদের ঢুকতে দিত না, তখন বাচ্চাদের জন্যে আমরা এখানে আসতাম, আমি আমার ওয়াইফ বাচ্চাদের নিয়ে এখানে আসতাম। এখানে বাচ্চারা খেলতো, নাচতো, আমরা নাচতাম, সেলিব্রেট হতো। কিন্তু দুঃখের বিষয় হলো বাচ্চাগুলো যখন বড় হয়ে গেল তখন চলে গেল, আর বুড়ো বাপ মা কিন্তু তখন রয়ে গেল। সোনাদা ওই দিনে আমার, আজকে বহু বছর ধরে 1 জানুয়ারি আমার জন্মদিন, 31st নাইটে আমার সেলিব্রেট করতে, এই কয়েক বছর একটু অন্য কারণে আমাকে আর আসতে দেয় না। কিন্তু এখনো কোথাও একটা রয়েছে যে মনের মধ্যে ডিকে, সেজন্য যাই করে থাকি সেইটা কারোর জন্য নয়, সেটা নিজের জন্য। আমরা যারা এমনি ক্লাবে আসি তারা ভাবি যে একটা ক্লাব হয়ে গেল, এতগুলো ফেসিলিটি হয়ে গেল, সুইমিং পুল হয়ে গেল, এখন একটা এত বড় কমপ্লেক্স হয়ে গেল, এগুলো হয়তো এমনি ম্যাজিকের মতন হয়ে যায়। যেরকম সৌরভকে দেখলে, লিয়েন্ডারকে দেখলে আমরা ভাবি না যে ওরা যখন টেস্ট খেলেছে বা গ্র্যান্ড স্ল্যাম খেলেছে ওটাই বোধহয় খেলা, তার আগে যে কতটা তার জন্য ওঠা নামা পড়েছে, জীবনে কতটা জায়গায় হয়েছে, কত অপমান সহ্য করেছে, কত ডেডিকেশন নিয়ে এসছে, তবে সে ওই জায়গায় পৌঁছেছে। সেরকমই এই ক্লাবের সোনাদার ওপরে কত ঝড় ঝামটা গেছে, সেটা আমি আর দেবা হারে হারে জানি। একটা সময় হয়েছিল ডিকেএসকে ভেঙে দিতে এসেছিল, আমরা দাঁড়িয়ে থেকেছিলাম, তখন আমরা অপোজিশনে ছিলাম। আর দেবা কনস্ট্যান্টলি, ডিকেএস যেহেতু ওর পাড়ার ক্লাব, ও এইটাতে একেবারে মেন্টালি ফিজিক্যালি প্রচণ্ডভাবে ইনভলভ হলো সোনাদার সাথে সাথে। আর আমিও একটা কাজ করলাম, ডিকেএসকে কপি করার জন্য সোনাদার হাত ধরে আমি চেতলায় ছোট ডিকেএস তৈরি করার চেষ্টা করলাম। সুতরাং আমিও ডিকেএসকে চুরি করেছি, ডিকেএসকে কপি করেছি নিজের পাড়ার জন্য। কিন্তু আজকে যে কমপ্লেক্স হয়েছে, এরপরে আমি আর বলতে পারবো না যে ডিকেএস একটা ক্লাব যেখানে যাই। এটা কলকাতার গর্ব হয়ে দাঁড়িয়েছে, যেখানে কলকাতার মেয়র হিসেবে আমি নিজে গর্বিত যে এরকম একটা ক্রিয়েট হতে পারে। এটা সত্যি সোনাদা ছাড়া আর কেউ পারে না। তাই থ্যাংক ইউ সোনাদা, থ্যাংক ইউ ডিকেএস।
And of course, thank you, Honorable Firad Hakim. এরপরে যাকে নিয়ে উনি এতক্ষণ বলছিলেন, may I call upon Sri Hiranmoy Chatterjee to deliver his address, please. তারপরে আমরা আরো অনুষ্ঠানে ঢুকবো, আমার মনে হয় আপনাদের ভালো লাগবে।
My dear friend, Honorable Mayor of Kolkata, Firad Hakim, my President, Sri Devashish Kumar, my young two brothers, Sourav and Leander, distinguished personalities invited here tonight, members from the media, club members, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my pleasure to share this historical moment with all of you, and that's the reason we are all here together. We've come a long, long way to reach this place, but I'm sure we wouldn't have been able to reach this place alone. A lot of people have helped us on the way, and I would like to mention a few names, without which I think I will be failing in my duties. Manish Gupta, who has been our ex-president, Biren Shah, who is no longer with us today, Jawahar Sarkar, who also was a president, Prashad Da is here. These people have helped me in every aspect of building this institution. Not only the institution, they have also helped me and guided me to be a better human being and be on the right track, which has made me bigger in society. Thank you very much. And then we started this process in '76 when Kachuda came over and was the General Secretary at that time. Kachuda, unfortunately, couldn't stay with us very long. He expired in an accident. Thereafter, the entire burden came to our shoulders. And we thought we needed to transform this place from a social club, from a only sporting club, to a semi-social club also. We didn't have all these facilities, but yes, we tried, and gradually, we built the swimming pool complex, and now we built this also. So it's been a great journey, and in this, while we were coming to this journey, few people I'll have to mention. That is, one is K.C. Mehra from the Tata Group, and Mr. P.D. Chitlangia from the Chitlangia Sharda Plywood Group. Those days, 70s, they stood beside me and helped me in all what was required to gradually build this empire. So ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge these people who have helped us in giving you this wonderful, wonderful complex. We don't end here actually. As I said, the limit is the sky. We have limited space. A lot of people think that we've occupied a portion of the park. Let me clear it today in front of all of you. We are not occupiers. We are legal leasehold people. 3 acres of land in 1928 was demarcated and given a different premises number, 93 by 1B Rajvihari Avenue. Our club address is 93 by 1B Rajvihari Avenue. So we are not occupiers. We pay taxes and we are a zero debt company. All right, we are a zero debt club. We are a model club in this country. We don't have a union. We were ruled by the left front government for 34 years, and their main motto was union. Even then, our staffs never felt the need for a union. They thought the management was good enough to look after their needs. So it's been a great journey, and we still look forward to bring you more. As long you have a great committee. Now we've expanded the committee with the ladies circle also, who are helping us in every aspect. You saw it today. They are all around uniformed, wearing the same sari. Big cheers for all the ladies circle. Now I will fail again in my duties if I don't accept and recognize the people who really got this complex to us. our member architects, led by Dilip Chatterjee, Subir Basu, Anjan Ukil, Maloy Ghosh, and Manos Dotto. They built this complex for us, and they built it free of cost. They did not charge us a penny. Ladies and gentlemen, they deserve a big hand of applause, please, for my architect friends. And then the interior part was done by Swagata and my wife. Thank you for giving us such a wonderful place. They also deserve a hand, your applause. Thank you very much. So now I think, you know, you all are all waiting. I've explained what needed to be explained. And I think you're all anxiously waiting for the talk show of these two legends who have made us proud. Okay, fair enough. So my Gautam is correcting me. They are going to be felicitated first before the talk show. So I think I'll end my speech here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us in this historical occasion. Thank you.
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ শ্রী হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি। এখানে আমি শ্রী চন্দ্রশেখর ঘোষকে দেখতে পাচ্ছি, বন্ধন ব্যাংকের চেয়ারম্যান, শিল্পোদ্যোগী, আধুনিক সময়ের, সবার বাংলায় খুব শ্রদ্ধা এবং সম্ভ্রমের সঙ্গে যার নাম উচ্চারিত হয়। কিন্তু আপাতত আমি একটা জাস্ট would like to remind you of a tale from Bible. There's so many learned people sitting here, out here, that I'm not venturing in it, whether it's from the Old Testament or was it from the New Testament. The story said the return of the prodigal son. I mean, a man had two sons, and one of them, the younger one, he said that, you know, I'm not going to stick to routines and all. You know, I will lead a life of my own. And he went outside the family, led a life, very reckless life. And eventually he realized that that reckless life led him into all sorts of disappointment and anguish. So finally he returned home and he was forgiven by his parents. So the moral of the story is different. But here, what we are going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, this actually signifies the return of the golden boys. One is named Sourav Ganguly, the other is named Leander Paes. এই শহর থেকে দুটো ক্ষেপণাস্ত্র উৎক্ষেপণ হয়েছিল 90s-এ। তাদের বাবারা শ্রী চণ্ডী গাঙ্গুলি এবং শ্রী ভেস পেজ যেভাবে এদের পার্সোনাল ল্যাবরেটরি থেকে প্রায় তৈরি করেছেন, কোনো সাপোর্ট ছাড়া, ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার, কোনো সিস্টেম ছাড়া, কোনো এনসিএ ছিল না, ইন্ডিয়ান টেনিসের আজকের অবস্থা ছিল না, জাস্ট নিজে থেকে কমপ্লিটলি হোম গ্রোন, আনবিলিভেবল। একজন has been the most, arguably India's greatest ever game-changing captain, 38 international hundreds to his credit, has won so many matches for India, later on went on to become the president of the Cricket Control Board. আরেকজন তো বললাম একটু আগে, জাস্ট কিছু না বলে যদি হল অফ ফেমের ওই স্পিচটা দেখানো হয়, the only Indian who got inducted into that hall of fame, and the record number of Davis Cup wins, and only 18 Grand Slam titles. So could we have Leander Paes on stage please for the felicitation? আর আজকে একটা খুব রেয়ার ওকেশন, কাইন্ডলি আপনাদের ক্যামেরাগুলো রেডি রাখুন, যেরকম মাঠে আপনারা টাই ব্রেকার হওয়ার সময় রেডি রাখেন ভিডিওতে। এই শহর থেকে এবং ডিকেএস থেকে আজকে দ্য কর্পোরেশন অফ কলকাতা for the first time will officially recognize the contribution of two city boys, making it huge and making the city of Kolkata proud. Very rare occasion. আজ অব্দি হয়নি কলকাতার বুকে। এই দুজনকে কলকাতা শহরের পক্ষ থেকে মাননীয় মহানাগরিক সম্মাননা জ্ঞাপন করবেন যে আপনারা কলকাতা শহরের যেভাবে মান বৃদ্ধি করেছেন বিদেশে, বিশ্বে, তাতে আমরা গর্বিত। আমার মনে হয় না সৌরভ বা লিয়েন্ডারের বাড়িতে এত সব ট্রফি আছে, কলকাতা শহরের এইরকম ট্রফি আছে কিনা। কুড উই হ্যাভ ফার্স্টলি লিয়েন্ডার পেজ অন স্টেজ প্লিজ? একটা জোর হাততালি হোক এই সময়টায়। ডিকেএস এবং কলকাতা কর্পোরেশন ফেলিসিটেট করবেন লিয়েন্ডার পেজকে, আর কর্পোরেশন অফ কলকাতা যে সিলভার সালভার তুলে দেবেন সেটা এগিয়ে দেওয়ার জন্য আমি লহমা ভট্টাচার্যকে অনুরোধ করছি, ফিরহাদ হাকিমকে এগিয়ে দেওয়ার জন্য। And also Leander Paes যে প্রথম টুর্নামেন্ট জিতেছিলেন তাকে এই ক্লাবের অনারারি মেম্বারশিপ তুলে দেবেন শ্রী দেবাশিস কুমার। আর এটাতে লেখা আছে, আপনারা তো ওখান থেকে লেখাটা দেখতে পাবেন, আমি লেখাটা পড়ে দিচ্ছি। The city of Kolkata hereby extends its gratitude and deep appreciation for your iconic achievements in the field of tennis. Leander, you have truly been a golden boy, born, raised and brought up in this iconic city. It is almost incredible as to how, year after year, you took on the opponents armed with superior technological and financial support of the first world, and yet you held your own. You made Indian tennis proud with not only an Olympic medal, not only with multiple Grand Slam titles, but your induction in the Tennis Hall of Fame as a lone Indian tennis player signifies something that has been sensational and has truly put Kolkata in the world map yet again. This is in recognition of the fame and goodwill that you have brought to this city, Firad Hakim. একটা জোর হাততালি দিন এই ওকেশনটায় কলকাতা শহরের পক্ষ থেকে সংবর্ধনা, একই সঙ্গে ডিকেএস এর পক্ষ থেকে সংবর্ধনা জানানো হবে শ্রী দেবাশিস কুমার এবং শ্রী হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি। আমি মেম্বার্স অফ দ্য লেডিস সার্কেলসকে বলছি একটু ডিকেএস এর পক্ষ থেকে সংবর্ধনা তুলে দিন প্লিজ। মেয়র অফ কলকাতা সেপারেটলি অ্যান্ড ডিকেএস, এখানে কলকাতার আমি হুদের দেখতে পাচ্ছি, তারা সবাই এখানে আছেন। আমার মনে হয় এটা একটা আইকনিক ওকেশন। কলকাতা শহরের পক্ষ থেকে কলকাতা শহর, কলকাতা ইজ সেইং থ্যাংক ইউ লিয়েন্ডার। ডিকেএসের পক্ষ থেকে একটা ড্রেস তুলে দিলেন হিরণময় চ্যাটার্জি। আর এইখানে লিয়েন্ডার তার প্রথম টুর্নামেন্ট জিতেছেন এই ইয়েতে। লিয়েন্ডার, কুড উই হ্যাভ ইউ স্পিক জাস্ট ফর ব্রিফলি অ্যান্ড দেন অফ কোর্স উই উইল হ্যাভ ইউ ফর দ্য টক শো।
Friends, Gautam just mentioned that Leander won 18 Grand Slams. But the true story is he reached 36 Grand Slam finals. So he won 18 and lost 18. So 50% record. Leander, we are very proud of you.
Namaskar, good evening everyone. Firstly, I would like to welcome our Honorable Babida, our honorable dignitaries on the stage, our beloved Shonada, and also my loving fellow community of City of Joy. It's my greatest honor to have represented you over the last 40 years at Wimbledon, at the 7 Olympics, at all the Grand Slams, but most importantly to prove that whether it's a young boy from Kolkata who grew up playing gully cricket and gully football and park circus can also win Grand Slams and Olympic medals. Every time I meet my brother Sourav, it brings great joy to me because not only is he my favorite captain of all time, not only is he a great athlete, but he's a great son of the soil. I remember the bike sprints we used to do at the Salt Lake Stadium together. And he was always be like, Lee, give me some of those legs. And I'll be like, give me some of those brains. The camaraderie that we've shared has been wonderful. He's been a great inspiration to me. He's been a great friend. He's been a brother. And I'm so proud of you. I wouldn't be here today without my parents. My parents are not doing too well at the moment, but my sister Jacqueline and myself, we're doing our best to look after them. But exactly where all of y'all are sitting right now, this exact area where you're sitting on, is where I won my first men's professional tournament. Exactly right here. I remember I had to play Zishan Ali, a fellow Calcutta boy, and then I played Enrico Piperno in the final and beat him. But my relationship with the DKS club goes back to when I was 9 years old. When I first came to DKS, this handsome young man, he allowed me to play here. Because like Bobby Da said half an hour ago, this is the one club that allowed children to participate. And that is a huge thing, Shonada. Whether it was the New Year's Eve party, whether it was sport, DKS always stood for community. And I think every single one of you all deserve a hand for that. As members of DKS, you all allowed the children to come and play and to live their dream. So thank you very much. I know that we're going to get into a longer conversation, but I want to take this time to recognize that Leander Paes would not be a Hall of Famer if it wasn't for Shonada and his family, if it wasn't for Mrs. Chatterjee and her solid family unity that she has in how you've kept these two young boys together. I would like to personally thank you, not just for the wonderful kurta you've just got me, but also for the 50 years of support your family has given me. Thank you very much. Playing here at DKS was always special to me. I've never lost a match on this court. This used to be a wonderful grass court. And in that, I'm going to share some stories with you a little later. But at this moment, I bow my head in gratitude and say thank you very much for all the support that DKS, your members, and Shonada have given me. And I'm so proud of you for what you have done here. I remember playing here when there was one carom board underneath one little light in this corridor. And the locker room was a small little locker room. Right on the side here used to be where the backdrops used to slide into. We used to change in there for our matches. And now looking at what a beautiful structure you have made. Great job. I'm so proud of every single one of you. And I look back to many, many days that I can come and share more happy times at DKS. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Leander. আমি এখানে অনেক ক্রিকেটারকেও দেখতে পাচ্ছি. DKS has a huge cricketing tradition right from the days of নির্মল চ্যাটার্জি. এখান থেকে ইন্ডিয়ার হয়ে খেলেছেন শরদিন্দু মুখার্জি, দেবাং গান্ধী, বেঙ্গলের হয়ে খুব সাকসেসফুলি খেলেছেন জয়দীপ মুখার্জি, রণদেব বোস এই ক্লাবের মেম্বার, যিশু সেনগুপ্ত কলকাতা ফার্স্ট ডিভিশন খেলেছে. DKS has a huge cricketing tradition. আর এবার যাকে ডাকবো, he symbolizes cricket in this part of the country and of course also in India. Whenever you say Ganguly, you have said enough. Can we have Sourav Ganguly on stage, please? আর সৌরভকে সম্মাননা জ্ঞাপনের জন্য আমি একটু ডাকছি দেবলীনা এবং তার সঙ্গে গৌরবকে. ও তো ডিকেএসেরই জামাই, তাই গৌরবকেও ডাকছি একটু. আমি সুজন মুখার্জিকেও একটু আগে দেখলাম, এখন দেখতে পাচ্ছি না. গৌতম সোমকেও দেখতে পাচ্ছি না. সব ডিকেএসের খুব কৃতি ক্রিকেটার. Could we have Debulina and Gaurav, please? আর ফিরাদ হাকিম তুলে দেবেন একটা সম্মাননা. আবার সেই স্পেশাল মুহূর্ত. The Mayor of Kolkata, the Honorable Mayor of Kolkata says thank you to Sourav Ganguly on behalf of the city. This is happening here. This has never happened before. This will not happen again. The city of Kolkata says thank you to Sourav Ganguly. He had retired long time back, 2008 Test cricket, 2012 IPL, if I can recall correctly. আজকে 2025 আর আমি যেটা লেখা আছে মানপত্রে সেটা জাস্ট পড়ছি. The city of Kolkata hereby extends its gratitude and deep appreciation for your iconic achievements in the field of cricket. As someone who used to lit up cricket grounds all across the world with your dazzling stroke play, it is your leadership that has transcended Indian cricket to a new era. Your performance not only enhanced the image of the city of Kolkata nationally, but it also had a huge global impact. This is in recognition to the fame and goodwill that you have brought to this city. Thanks, Firad Hakim. আর এই ডিকেএসের পক্ষ থেকে আপনাদের কারোর মনে হতে পারে লিয়েন্ডার পেসকে আমরা অনারি মেম্বারশিপ দিলাম, সৌরভকে দিলাম না কেন? কারণ সৌরভকে আগেই দেওয়া হয়েছে। এই মাঠে প্রচুর ক্রিকেট খেলেছেন সৌরভ গাঙ্গুলি। এবার আমি সৌরভকে একটু তার অ্যাকসেপ্টেন্স স্পিচের জন্যে বলতে ডাকবো।
Thank you, Gautamda. Honorable Mayor of Kolkata, Sri Firad Hakim, President of the club, Debashish Kumar, our very own Shonada, successful people from the city of Kolkata who are all present here, my very own and one of the biggest role models in the country, Leander, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would want to thank Sri Firad Hakim, Debashish Kumar, Shonada and other members of the club for inviting me here this evening. I was away with the WPL, so I remember Shonada calling me a month back and said, would you be available? I said, yes, but after the 16th. So thank you for holding this inauguration till I came. I'm extremely honored to be here because just like Leander, I've got some great memories. You know, you see this fantastic place now. I remember coming when I was 13-year-old, a 13-year-old boy, just like many players from the city. I can see Bappa here, Shoradindu. We used to train in that matting surface out there in the summer. And the run-up was probably this big. The run-up was probably this big and there was no facilities. It used to rain. We used to put the matting on our own, roll it up on our own and play cricket. And to see so many players playing for the country who have trained in this small area has really been fascinating and great memories for the times to come. To Shonada, to Devashishda and all those who are involved, to see this transformation which has happened to this club is absolutely remarkable. And I totally agree with Leander that there was a small training area there was a small swimming pool, the tennis court, and a small shade where people would change and train and get ready to practice on either side. Cricket was on this side and tennis was on that side of the facility. When I entered, I was hearing Shonada speak and he said that this reminds him of New York. But to me, honestly, Shonada, this reminds me of the CCI Brabourne Stadium. This reminds me of that place rather than New York. And I'm an honorary member of the Brabourne Stadium in CCI. And when you get into that club, when you get into that space, it feels different. It feels history, it feels nostalgic, it feels with great memories. And when you enter this area, you feel the same. It's right in the heart of the city. There's a cricket ground up there, and I'm sure with the efforts of 3 people on the dais, I'm sure the facilities there will be increased and made better so that cricketers can practice in that area. I know DKS and some of the other clubs play cricket there, but I'm sure in the years to come that facility will also be upgraded so that it becomes a perfect place to play cricket. I don't know whether Leander is involved in any way in the tennis in this club, but this courts where he started his career, where he just said he played some fantastic tournaments to win some, would be a perfect platform for him to bring up young players in this state. You know, it gives me immense pleasure and happiness to see that Leander spends so much time in this city now. He lived in Bombay all his life, and to see him back in Calcutta. And I've always told him that, you know, a champion like you should always be involved in the game in some way or the other. And I hope the club, there is a tennis club here, there are other tennis facilities around the city, will give young dreamers, people who want to play tennis, an opportunity to spend time with this champion. You know, 18 Grand Slams. It's not just a recognition for Leander. You know, for me, Leander was those fists and pumps on the court when things were not going that well, or even when he was at his best. The energy, the fire, and the want to win will remain with me for a long period of time. He spoke about me and him training. Yes, those were the great days when the facilities in this city was not at its best. We used to go to the SAI, the Sports Authority of India, under his dad. His dad, I'm so sad to hear that he's recovering. But I still remember I was 14 years old and I think he was 13 or 14, similar. And we used to both train together We used to both train together, and none of us knew where our careers would go. You know, our parents were obsessed with the game. They wanted their children to play, and they sent them to train. And I'm extremely happy and proud to see where Leander has reached and what he's achieved in his career. So, tremendous respect, tremendous love, and you've been an absolute champion for a long period of time. For everyone here at the club, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a great facility. It looks beautiful. You know, when you convert such places to what it is, it just does not speaks about the money, but it speaks about the vision and want. Because the best things in life come because of your understanding and because of your want to create the best. And when I see DK's club, when I see the facilities, when I see the walkway, when I see this area, it just makes me feel that whoever are involved in the club led by Shonada, Devashishda and other people, it just speaks volumes of the vision and what you want to do for the city. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure under your leadership, this facility will keep growing better, keep getting better. But just before I finish, my earnest request to all of you here would be that, you know, when I came in as a young boy, I saw sports was a very important part of the facility. Hopefully in the years to come, it will continue to be, and it will continue to produce many of Leanders, many of Shoradindus, many of Shourashises and other players who are in this group, and I can't see them from here. It will be a great opportunity and a great facility for them to enhance their skills. So once again, thank you for inviting me here. The love and respect I get from this city is enormous. You know, sometimes I feel whether I deserve to get so much of love and respect, but I cherish every minute and every day when I see so much of affection. So thank you so much, and once again to all of you, enjoy the facilities, and we'll hope to see you again. Thank you.
Answering Sourav, that we will keep going. We have already decided, and we are building two dressing rooms in the cricket ground. Sourav, are you listening? We are building two dressing rooms in the cricket ground. All right, so that answers your question regarding uplifting the facilities. And as far as Leander is concerned, let me tell you, Leander already has been inducted in the All India Tennis Federation, and we look to get great support from him. He's going to Mumbai day after tomorrow to talk to the people concerned. We had a long discussion yesterday night, and I'm sure together both of you can take us a long, long way. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to wait a while till the stage is set for the talk show. Please bear with us. Till then, Gautam, you can take over.
সৌরভ আর লেন্ডার একসঙ্গে বসে টক শো করছেন কলকাতা শহরে, আমি অন্তত জানি না এরকম কখনো হয়েছে কিনা। কাজে প্লিজ ফাস্টেন ইউর সিট বেল্টস, বাট আমাদের 3-4 মিনিট সময় দিন, একটু আমরা রিঅর্গানাইজ করে নিচ্ছি, 3-4 মিনিট, নট মোর দ্যান দ্যাট, অ্যান্ড দেন উইল বিগিন দ্য টক শো। থ্যাংক ইউ। Just give us a few minutes and then after that we'll be starting. First of its kind, two golden boys from the city, Leander Paes and Sourav Ganguly sitting side by side and answering questions. And if everything goes well, we will take 5 questions from the audience towards the end. ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত একটু ডিনারের জন্য একটু ওয়েট করুন, তারপর এত ডিনার যে যার মতো খেতে যাবেন। আমি অনেককে দেখছি, ফর্মার ফুটবলার শ্যাম থাপা, প্রদীপ চৌধুরী, সৌরাশিস লাহিড়ী, দেব মুখার্জি একটু আগে দেখছিলাম, বেঙ্গল আর ইস্ট জোনের ফর্মার ওপেনিং ব্যাটসম্যান, সুব্রত দত্ত ফুটবল কর্তা তিনি রয়েছেন। অনেককে দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, সেই জন্য যদি কারোর নাম না বলি কিছু মনে করবেন না প্লিজ। কিন্তু আবার বলছি যে who's who of the city they have emerged today in DKS to commemorate this significant occasion in the history of the 97-year-old club while it marches towards its centenary. Okay, could we have Leander and Sourav on stage, please? অনেক ফর্মার প্লেয়ার এখানে আছেন, কল্যাণ চৌধুরী বেঙ্গলের ফর্মার উইকেট কিপার, জয়দীপ মুখার্জি, অফকোর্স আই মেনশন হিজ নেম, অনেককে দেখতে পাচ্ছি। Yes, Leander, could we have you on stage, please? Hello. Can you settle down, please? আমি একটু সবাইকে অনুরোধ করছি, could you settle down, please? এই শহরের দুজন গোল্ডেন বয়েজ সিটিং সাইড বাই সাইড, আর আপনারা দেখেছেন আজকে একটা হিস্টোরিক ওকেশন যেখানে ওরা অনেক খেতাব পেয়েছেন, দুজনেই পদ্মশ্রী, দুজনে অনেক খেতাব পেয়েছেন, কিন্তু আজকে কলকাতা শহরের বুকে দ্য মেয়র হিমসেলফ রেকগনাইজ দেয়ার কন্ট্রিবিউশনস, এবং আমার মনে হয় ওদের সমস্ত ট্রফির মধ্যে এটা নিশ্চয়ই ওদের বাড়িতে রাখা থাকবে। What about it, Leander? Sourav, আজকের রাত্রিটা, was it special?
Yes, of course. You know, every recognition is special. I've never looked at it, what is big, what is less. But the recognition from here is with a lot of affection and love. It may not be for the national team or the world team, but many things are blended with love and affection. And when you get recognized by such organizations, it's always special. And I'm sure Leander will also feel the same.
Leander, from the city from where you have grown up, সেই সিটি যখন রেকগনাইজ করে, how does it feel?
Exactly like Sourav said, I think the City of Joy has a real heart. In this modern world that we live in, with all the social media, all the Instagram likes and followers and all the things that people are portraying their best version all the time, the heart of Calcutta is the people. And that's one thing that both of us are so grateful for, the love, the affection, the respect that we get in the City of Joy. As I look out into the audience here, I'm sure Sourav has the same. You can handpick our stories with each and every one of the audience. It is quite special. I mean, I can see Uncle Dipankar Nandi right here in front of me and his wonderful wife. I grew up playing football with them from the age of 6. And the memories and the stories of people that have created the City of Joy the way it is, I think Calcutta is one of the greatest cities in the entire world, and I'm very grateful for the love and affection that we get from it.
Leander, you just now pointed out something which is very significant, very important. You talked about the social media, Instagram. Now the problem is, you two have done it brick by brick. I mean, there was no magic involved. I have seen from close how you have walked your way up through failures, through disappointments. You did not have enough money. Sourav goes the same. Of course, he came from a very decent, very well-to-do family, but his battle in and around the Indian team was unbelievable, the pains he had to go through. In today's world, social media, you know, you hit a shot, you just post a reel, cover drive, 4, and 1,000 likes. You know, you never put a picture of yourself getting bowled first ball or losing a volley. Is there a danger for the young kids if they take social media too seriously?
I think there's a lot of pressure on the young kids. There's a lot of stress, whether it's peer pressure, whether it is pressure to perform, pressure to always portray your best. And as you so rightly said, Gautam, that you can't be your best every day. I have lost 74.3% of every tennis match I've played in 40 years. If I go to a bank, I ain't getting no loan with that kind of performance. But yet you sit here with, you know, all the records in the book. I feel that using sport as a vehicle to empower the youth, and especially using sport to empower our young girls, our young women, is a great vehicle to do so. Why? Because under Sourav's leadership at the BCCI, cricket gave equal prize money to the women's as well as the men's. I'm so proud of him for that. I play a sport like tennis, which is the first sport to have equal prize money, equal opportunity, and equal scholarships for young girls as for boys. I think it is one of the most important things in society to empower our young girls through sport. It teaches leadership, it teaches teamwork, it teaches camaraderie, it teaches self-worth. And as we know today, we young men are fighting for liberation. The Indian women are going ahead of us. We got to keep up. And I think the talent that we have, the cerebral talent that we have in our country is amazing.
থ্যাংক ইউ লিয়েন্ডার। সৌরভ, কেউ যদি কোনো বন্ধু যদি পোস্ট করে দেয় হুক করতে গিয়ে ফার্স্ট বলে আউট হয়ে গেছে, সেই ছেলে তো গার্লফ্রেন্ডই আসবে না।
ফার্স্টলি গৌতম দা গার্লফ্রেন্ডের বয়স চলে গেছে।
তোমার কথা বলছি না, ইয়াংস্টারদের কথা বলছি।
ও ইয়াংস্টার,
হ্যাঁ, এভরিওয়ান ওয়ান্টস ইনস্ট্যান্ট সাকসেস।
না মনে হয় না, আমার মনে হয় না, বিকজ girls and boys are very clever these days. So they know what keeps them going and what keeps them attracted. So I'm sure they find a way.
তোমার সময় যদি সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া থাকতো, এই কনস্ট্যান্ট প্রেশার to prove yourself to an outer world that I'm good enough, not just to your competition, but to an outside world, alien outside world, তোমার টাস্কটা কি আরো ডিফিকাল্ট হতো?
দেখো, এটা তখনও ছিল, whether the scale was as big as this, I'm not sure. For any professional, when you're in a world stage or when you're in a national stage, and when you have so much visibility, so much people's opinion, you'll always get judged. So that's part and parcel of professional sport. Amar shomoy chilo hoyto there was no Twitter, there was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, but there was media. There was scrutiny by media, there was scrutiny by common people, there was scrutiny everywhere you went, and you had to deal with that. And I've always said, I say that to everyone, and not because I've handled pressure for over a long period of time, or Leander has done it for a long period of time. I have played in a team sport, so my future, my career was always decided by someone, which was not the case with Leander, because Leander was so good and Leander played an individual sport. He always had an opportunity to go and show that he was good. I'll tell you a small story, Gautam. I was in Wimbledon in 2011, and I was watching Roger Federer versus Nadal, and Leander also must have watched it, he being such a champion. Federer lost to Nadal, and someone who knows tennis a little bit, not the entire intricacies of tennis, the first thought which came to me was, it's done with Federer. His career is done, such a champion. It happens to every professional, and you finish. If he was playing a team sport, and if there were selectors selecting him, he would not have played again. But Federer got back, 3 years later, in the same Wimbledon final, he beat Nadal on the court. And you could see that old Roger Federer. So there have been many instances in professional sport, in team sport, where you're still good, but other people feel that you're not good enough. And you have to make way, which is so much in cricket. So this is something you have to deal with. For every young boy and girl in this room who's seen Leander play and who's seen athletes play, who's seen the great Sachin play, or a Kohli play, or a Gavaskar play, you have to deal with pressure in life. There is no way of getting out of it. You know, if you want to be successful, you learn how to deal with it. Otherwise, you'll never be successful. The higher you go, the more the pressure it is and the stronger it is. So find your own way of putting it aside and concentrating on performance. Look at Virat Kohli, India-Pakistan game, Champions Trophy. He comes to bat at 40 for 2 and scores 100 to win the game. There cannot be more pressure. There cannot be more pressure than that, because if he fails, people will say he's done. He's done. They need to look at young players, and India has so much talent, somebody will take over. So you have to find a way to deal with pressure, and the only way to deal with pressure is seeing everything as an opportunity. Whatever happens in social media, if somebody picks it up and says, you're rubbish, so what? It's what you feel from within. Get out in the morning, train, and become better. Doesn't matter what an X, Y, Z thinks about you. What matters is what you think about him. How many times has he been down and out? You know, how many times has he come back from behind? But has he lost the battle? He did not. You know, you see tennis champions lose the first set, lose the second set, and a Federer or a Nadal or some of the greats, or a Sampras, which I've seen come back and win 3-2. We sitting on television and think it's done for Sampras, it's done for Federer, but he doesn't think. He comes back and wins 3-2. So for every young professional, it's about finding a way to deal with it. And it's possible. And it's possible. If you want to be successful, deal with pressure.
Tea is being served. You can please have it. And we can have our adda. And this is চানাচুর আনা হয়েছে, কারণ চানাচুর ছাড়া বাঙালির আড্ডা সম্পূর্ণ নয়। আমি জানি লেন্ডার স্ট্রিক্ট একটা রেজিমের মধ্যে, বাট একটু সন্ধ্যাবেলা একদিন ডেকে এসে চানাচুর খারাপ হবে না। Leander Paes has been a game changer, Sourav, in Indian tennis, and I do know the conversations in South Club Fund when he first came up, because he was completely different from the rest. He possibly spoke in a language which signified that ground strokes can wait, fitness can't. So in that respect, was he the Virat Kohli before Virat Kohli in Indian sport?
He's the Leander Paes of Indian sport. Why do you tell him the Virat Kohli of Indian sport? He is.
No,
he has
before Virat Kohli.
He has made his own identity. He is Leander Paes, and I've seen him on courts. I've seen him personally. Every sport is different. Virat Kohli performs at a different level.
Okay, I'll rephrase my question. Was he the predecessor to Virat Kohli?
Yes, you can say that. You can say that. But for me, he's the Leander Paes of Indian sport, and an absolute champion. The grit, the desperation to succeed, you could see it. That you want to win, you want to succeed, and I'm so happy that I've known him from a very young age. We are similar age, and I've followed his career, watched him closely wherever he went to play the sport, and he's been hugely successful. So, you know, it's very hard to say what Leander has done, but I'm sure he has inspired generation of tennis players in the future to show the same fight, because talent is fine. What takes you to the next level is the fight, is that fight in the belly to succeed. And I think he showed to everyone, including me when I was growing up and I was playing for India, to see him on the court, compete, get up, get beaten, and come back and win again was something special.
And every time they cheered, "Go Leander, go!" Unbelievable, Leander. It was like when they cheered for Sachin, Sachin, Sachin. But in tennis, they said, "Go Leander, go." What was the feeling then when you're playing the court? Did you hear the cheer?
I think one thing that really unites Sourav and myself is playing for you. It's playing for the flag, playing for the Tiranga, playing for West Bengal, playing for Calcutta, playing for our Bengali roots, playing for you. If you look at my professional career when I played at Wimbledon or the US Open or in the ATP Tour, the record is not the same. every time I put on an Indian jersey, every time Sourav put on an Indian blue, there was magic. We conducted ourselves with so much of patriotism. There was literal that blue blood flowing through our veins when we played for our country. There's a different euphoria when, in my humble opinion, there's a different euphoria and there's a different sense of responsibility when you play for the country, when you play for your countrymen. And I remember that in 2003, I just won Wimbledon with Navratilova in the mixed doubles, and I was diagnosed with a tumor in my head. And it's quite daunting when you win Wimbledon on a Sunday, but on Monday afternoon, you're sitting at a cancer research center where they're doing tests and biopsies on you to test whether you got cancer. 7 months later, when I got through that, and it was a huge blessing that I was able to make it through, my one focus was to come out and play my 4th Olympics. My one focus was to come out and play for India and our community again. And I think that if you look at the class with which Sourav has conducted himself, when he played for India, every time he went out and represented India, even as an administrator, the class with which he conducted himself was fantastic. Even when he was on the balcony of Lords,
Yes, I'm
and he
coming to
pulled
that.
off the blue shirt, and he swung it in the air.
You loved it?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it not only because he's looking so fit then and now, but I loved it because he showed that the Bengal tiger is still roaring. He showed the Bengal tiger still has a big bite. And that is what's something special between both of us that we share is we always wanted to prove that coming from a city like Kolkata and from West Bengal with the Bengali roots in our bloods, that we could be world champions. We could prove to the young generation that we can be world champions from the city of joy.
Absolutely true. ওই সময় আমি জার্নালিজম করছিলাম ফুল ফ্লেজেড, and I can tell you যে টেনিস সার্কেলসে স্পেশালি ক্রিকেটে বলতো যে বাঙালি ভাগতা হয়, বাট সৌরভ আর লিয়েন্ডারের পরে বাঙালি ভাগতা হয় কেউ কখনো বলেনি, বোধহয় বলবেও না। ওদের জন্য একটা জোর হাততালি, ওদের স্পিরিটটা, অ্যাগ্রেশনটা গোটা ভারতবর্ষকে নাড়িয়ে দিয়েছে। Now, Leander, Sourav, apparently a biopic is being made or will be made shortly on Sourav. We hear that Rajkumar Rao will play Ganguly. If you are the director, who would have chosen to play Sourav Ganguly?
Sourav Ganguly.
His biopic, who should play as Sourav Ganguly?
Sourav Ganguly.
Sourav Ganguly.
He's still very handsome. He's still looking fit, and I don't think anyone can hit a left-handed cover drive as good as him. Every actor is going to come up short.
আপনারা তাই মনে করেন? সৌরভের বায়োপিকে সৌরভ অলরেডি ওটার প্রিলিউড হিসেবে খাকিতে একটা পুলিশ ইন্সপেক্টরের রোল, পুলিশ অফিসারের রোল করেছে। ওটা কি প্রোমো না ওটা ফিল্মেও আছে?
No, no, it's a promo. It's a promo. It's not a part of the film, and acting is not in my genes.
I don't agree because ওই একটা এক্সপ্রেশন আছে যে তোমার একটা অপোনেন্টের কথা মনে করে মাসেলসটাকে করো, অ্যান্ড ইমিডিয়েটলি গ্রেগ চ্যাপেলকে দেখানো হয়, আর তারপরে যে রিয়াকশনটা ইট ওয়াজ টু গুড।
ওটা গ্রেগ চ্যাপেল নয়।
গ্রেগ চ্যাপেল
Problem হচ্ছে in my career, whenever you see a white guy, everybody says it's Greg Chappell. It's not. It's not, but
ওটা গ্রেগ চ্যাপেলের ফার্স্ট কাজিন,
আমি জানি না ওটা কে।
বাট কমেন্ট্রিতে বলেছে গ্রেগ চ্যাপেল। ওকে, ক্যান ইউ ভিজুয়ালাইজ লিয়েন্ডার এন্ড গ্রেগ চ্যাপেল ইন ওয়ান ড্রেসিং রুম?
No, no, please, boss. He's got better friends, better company, and I'm sure he'll have better company in the future. You know, not required. I'd rather visualize Leander and Roger Federer in the same room.
তোমরা দুজনেই you have handled so much of negativity. Leander, because even though notwithstanding the fact that Kolkata has produced so many tennis champions, the way you approached your tennis was so different from the way former Bengali players or Bengali legends had approached their tennis. So much emphasis on fitness, your speed, agility, volleying, everything was so different. initially there was a bit of negativity around the Kolkata tennis circuit. Same goes for Sourav, who people said যে আরে বড় লোকের বাড়ির ছেলে ক্রিকেট খেলবেন বাঙালি তো ভয় পায়. How did you two guys handle so much of negativity and just threw it round the corner?
That's one of the things why I hold Sourav in great respect, is that he always conducted himself with class. For me, I can speak very clearly where Gautam Da has actually covered tennis for so many years, and he's been such a wonderful friend, not just from being from Kolkata, both of us recognized with each other, but he was a great vehicle to communicate with people. And the amazing articles that you've done to talk about my version of a story or my perspective or of a story is something I'm very grateful for, Gautam Da. Also, I will go back to my Bengali roots, to Michael Madhusudhan Dotto. He was a bit of a rebel with the cause. So I guess a bit of that rebel runs through my blood as well. And I don't take no for an answer. I don't take, when people say I can't do something, I love to prove to myself that I can. But also remember that Sourav and me grew up in the 80s. The infrastructure for sports science, the diet, the sleep, the RPMs, the resting heart rate, the training heart rate, the maximum heart rate were not even conversations that people had. And that's one thing that we'd always go back and forth on. And I think the reason that I took inspiration from Ganguly was the fact that he had resilience. He was a long distance racehorse. He stood the test of the course, and like he rightly said, that playing for a team, especially playing for the Indian team, is very different than playing for Australia or West Indies or England or any other team. Playing for India, there are today, probably Sourav would know this better, but there are probably 4 Indian teams that could represent in the World Cup because the talent is so deep. So for Sourav to continue knocking at that door till he got into the team, till everyone recognized his class as a batsman or his class as a leader and gave him the captaincy, and then he proved himself. To me, that speaks of character, to answer your question. And that character comes from the lineage that we're born into. Our parents gave us that unconditional love. Our fathers and mothers conducted themselves with a lot of class and a lot of style. So as 2 young Calcutta boys, we didn't have to look far to see class. I can speak again for myself. My sister Jacqueline's in the front row right here. She was a far better talented athlete and tennis player than I was. Growing up as a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, she would beat me at tennis, and then she took to basketball and track and field. So for me, sitting on the dining table in my own house, I was not the most talented athlete. And that was something that gave me passion to prove my own worth as a sibling or as a son, to continue the legacy of my family. And that's something that I'm so proud of this young man too. He continued the legacy of his parents and took it to a global stature.
Sourav, you started off at a time when Mumbai had proudly presented Sachin Tendulkar. Cricket was all Mumbai. 9 players played from Mumbai, then you had Delhi. Kolkata was not even considered. এত নেগেটিভিটি অ্যারাউন্ডিং হার্ড ওয়ান ইন্ডিয়ান ক্রিকেটার সে যে গাঙ্গুলি যটা ব্যাট ক্যারি করে তার চেয়ে কম রান করে, এইরকম নেগেটিভিটির মধ্যে হাউ ডিড ইউ হ্যান্ডেল এন্ড ইভেন্চুয়ালি বিকেম দ্য ক্যাপ্টেন অ্যান্ড চেঞ্জ ইন্ডিয়ান ক্রিকেট ফর এভার?
Actually, the good or bad thing for me during that period was I was not aware of all this. I know when I went on the first trip to England in 1996, when I came back after 3 months with 2 test hundreds, back-to-back test hundreds, then I realized that I was criticized. And media was not as fast as it is in the modern day. To get news translated and transformed took a little bit of time. Everything was not in your phone and at the back of your hand. So that helped. And I never worried about all that. The reason I played cricket, the reason I succeeded is because, you know, I wanted to do this as an individual. You know, I never thought there was Sachin. I spend 90% of my career batting with him, whether as an opening batsman, whether in the middle order in test matches. Sometimes he batted 4, I batted 5. I batted 4, he batted 5, depending on his form. So I spent all my career playing with him. And it did two good things to me. And that's why I always say that when you play with people who are better than you, you actually get better. When you actually work with people who are better than you, you actually get better. So a lot of people asked me that what was your thought process when you opened with Sachin? You know, I keep telling them that he actually helped me become a better player, because I realized that the world is watching. Everyone, right from my cook at home, to my father, to the fan in the remote district in India, to the metropolitan cities in India, and they're judging me. And I never wanted to feel that I was not good enough. So that was the biggest thing inside me, which kept me going. I am batting with probably the best player the world has ever seen. And I don't want people to say, "Arey, it's a mismatch. He hits boundaries and I can't hit boundaries. He gets hundreds, I can't hit hundreds." So I had to raise my level. You know, I was always comparing myself, not comparing because he was a much better player than I was. I was always trying to evaluate myself with what he has done. What's the yardstick? That's why champions change yardsticks. And Sachin changed the yardsticks for batsmanship. You know, look at what Rahul did at number 3, because he was challenged by Sachin. Look at what VVS did at number 6, because he was challenged by Sachin. He said, "Oh shit, this fellow is so good. He gets 100 every 1 of 4 test matches, 1 of 5 one-day innings." So you also have to raise your bar. If people would on the street would say, "Arey, you are also good." Otherwise, if you don't match, people will say, "Yaar, kiske saath khel raha hai?" So you had to raise your level, and that was the biggest thing for me. Ki don't be out of place at that level. So
how was it batting with Sehwag? You've never seen someone like him before, who used to sing Kishore Kumar songs while batting.
yeah, he's different though. He's a freak. He's a freak. Although I consider I was better than him, but he's a freak. He had his own way of playing, and an absolute champion. I always keep saying that he's the best Indian opening batsman after Sunil Gavaskar. And he transformed Test cricket. I tell young boys, you know, you had Rahul Dravid at number 3 who left balls outside the off stump to make it old. And you had Virendra Sehwag at the top of the order who hit new balls to make it old. So both of them were equally good, but both of them had two different ways of being successful. And the reason that generation was so successful in Indian cricket, the reason that generation, people say, transformed Indian cricket, because of champions. Because we played in a team sport. One person cannot change a team. So it was the likes of Sehwag, Dravid, Tendulkar, myself, Lakshman, Kumble, Harbhajan. To see that entire generation go and play 100 test matches for India just speaks volumes of how good they were. And I think the reason one became better was because there was somebody else better in that dressing room than the other. I think competition, pressure, challenge always makes you better. And I think every sportsman, every athlete, every professional must be challenged to get better. Otherwise, you get into a comfort zone where there is not the next level. And I think that's very important. You know, people challenge Kohli, people challenge Rohit Sharma, people are challenging Shreyas Iyer. You look at Shreyas Iyer now. They dropped him for a year because he couldn't play the short ball. He's come back as a much better batsman. This is the best I've seen Shreyas Iyer play. So in all professions of life, be challenged, be pushed. That's the only way you become better.
Thank you. Leander had another kind of a situation which has not been seen by others, not faced by others. 96 or 97, I cannot recall. You and Mahesh Bhupathi went into the Grand Slam finals of all 4 Grand Slams, 97 possibly. And you had won 2 of them. And you were not speaking to each other. How is it possible? কেউ কারোর সঙ্গে কথা বলে না 4টে গ্র্যান্ড স্ল্যামের ফাইনালে ডাবল স্পেয়ার? How is it possible?
That was in the year 1999, and Gautanda was covering all of tennis and traveling to Grand Slams and Davis Cups. And I think sometimes, as you're on the journey to achieve your own history, it's very important to keep raising that bar. Why? Because it's very easy to dream big. It's very easy to say, I want to win Wimbledon, you work for 10 years, 1 decade, and then when you win Wimbledon, you forget to raise the bar again. So in 99, we got to all 4 Grand Slam finals. We won 2 Grand Slams. But we had such different personalities. The difference in personality before we won the Grand Slams, we were managing because we were all still working towards the one unified goal. But then once we won the Grand Slam, we did not plan for the next journey. And I feel that that was something maybe I could have done better as the older partner, the senior partner. I feel that maybe as we got closer to winning Wimbledon, or as we got closer to being #1 in the world, I could have taken the time away from all the hard work we were putting in day to day to plan the next peak, which would have probably been win an Olympic medal. Because by then I'd already won my singles medal. So we got to Olympic semi-finals, we got to match points in the Olympics to win medals. But sometimes I think my favorite Indian word, which is karma, sometimes that plays itself out.
But
no
how
one
did
would
it
ever
work?
imagine that.
I don't agree to karma. He's my best friend, but I don't agree to karma. People have done bad things and I've got the most successes. So I don't believe in all that.
True. This is true.
So how did it work? মানে দুজন দুজনের সঙ্গে কথা বলে না. So how did you sit down together to sort of devise a strategy for the next match? Did you speak then?
Professionalism. I think that's something that's the most important. Respect, honor, professionalism. These are 3 unified things that you must have in a relationship or in a business or even when you're trying to win Wimbledon or trying to win a World Cup. You must honor your partner. You must respect your partner, even if you disagree. There's a beautiful way on how to gently but yet firmly state your point of what your belief system is, but more importantly, take the time to understand the other person's belief or point. And even if that cannot be changed or you can't find a mutual ground in specific answers to your question, Mahesh and I worked on making sure that India won every Davis Cup match. That was the goal. We went undefeated for 12 years. Today, India has the world record in Davis Cup for the most undefeated Davis Cup wins, which meant that we honored that the flag and the people came before us. That's something I respect Mahesh for.
Sourav, people say that you united the Indian team, gave them a new direction. Not many perhaps realize that you also brought in the first foreign coach India had, John Wright. And later on as the board president, you made Rohit Sharma the captain. You brought in Rahul Dravid as a coach. Does the fire still burn?
Yeah, it does. It does in other aspects of life. I've just started going back to cricket with IPL and WPL and other formats. I really want to succeed there. I don't know whether I'll get the opportunity any day, but someday maybe get a World Cup. So I'll see what's stored in life. But the fire is always there. Because, all my life, and Leander will agree and performers will agree, all my life, you try to do the next level. When you get 100 in a test match, you try and get 150. You try and get 200. So you try and do the next level. And I'm 50 now, so obviously I still have time to do it. So, this is something I want because, when I finished playing, LP Sahi, who's a very dear friend of you and me and many of us here, I'm sure Leander knows him well as well. He asked me, Sourav, you've played so many games for India, 100 test matches, more than 300 one-day games. Only 3 or 4 has played in the history. Sachin, Rahul, now Kohli, and I don't know whether Rohit Sharma will get to 100 test matches. So not many have played the double. So he said, what you miss the most? I said, I miss that challenge. I've got everything in life, fame, money. I still make money and I'm happy with all the stuff I have. But what I miss is that nervousness in the morning at 7 o'clock. that when you wake up and you realize that, you know, you have to go out and bat for India. And you know that if you don't play a Glenn McGrath delivery well and it gets to first slip, your driver, your cook, your mum, your dad, your best friend will tell you that your feet are not moving, that you're not getting close to the ball. But by the time 4:30 comes and you get 100, you know, it's the most satisfying thing in the world. The biggest satisfaction is success in your trade. And I think that's something which I miss. Obviously, you can't keep playing forever because that's the way the sport is. Otherwise, Leander should have continued to play forever and ever because he's that good. And you find different ways of succeeding. I remember the great Rahul Dravid told me after he won the World Cup, he called me actually the next day because he became coach when I was president of the board. And he said, you know, this was the only box left in my life which was unticked, and I've managed to tick it. He was very depressed after he lost the final in Ahmedabad, 50-over World Cup. And I remember SMSing him the next day because I was reading in the newspaper that he'll not continue. He wants to move on. Because when you lose, all these thoughts come in. You know, you're not at your best state of mind. You're sad, you're upset because you've tried so much. The first SMS I sent to him is that, give it one more try. I didn't get an answer for 3 days. I never got an answer for that. And then after some time, I saw that he wants to do it again. So you know, these things don't go away. That challenge doesn't go away. You know, I don't want to spend a life waking up and walking in a park. I don't want to do it. I can do it for 7 days. I can do it for 10 days. I can do it for a month, but I can't do it more than that. So I need some kick to keep going. And hopefully there'll be some more things in life to do it. And because I've really enjoyed the journey and the circle of success and failure. You know, you fail, you succeed, you turn it around yourself because that actually makes you satisfied and happy and believe in yourself and makes you feel that, you know, yeah, you've done something with your life. So I really don't want to lose that. In different stages, you get different opportunities. You know, I've been extremely fortunate that God has given me the opportunity to play almost 500 games for India, captain more than 200 games for India. But that doesn't stay forever. You know, that goes and new challenges come in. So I just want to remain in that system. I just don't want to go away sitting that I've got enough money in the bank and I can come at DKS and sit in one of the rooms and have a cup of coffee every day at 7 o'clock in the evening. I don't want to do that. You know, I want to get into positions where I'll be under pressure, I'll be challenged, and hopefully I can succeed. Because I've seen that from the age of 14 till I finished at the age of 40. So that keeps me going, and hopefully opportunities, instances will come in the future which can keep me going.
What about becoming the Indian coach in, say, 2030 or 2028 Olympics?
I don't know, because, you know, it depends on opportunity. Life is about opportunities. I have always said the difference between a Ganguly and the other boy next door who played the sport is probably I got more opportunities than the other. You know, I firmly believe that champions are made because of opportunities. And if that opportunity comes, we'll see.
ওকে, একটা প্রশ্ন 25 বছর জিজ্ঞেস করিনি, দুজনকেই জিজ্ঞেস করতে চাই। Since he talked about Glenn McGrath, it was in Melbourne. Sourav had just scored 100 against Glenn McGrath, and Leander was also watching that match at the MCG. Now Sourav got run out. আমার এখনো মনে আছে মাঠের খুব কাছেই হোটেলটা, so I had entered and asked Sourav. Leander was also sitting there, but তার মধ্যে meanwhile একজন ইন্ডিয়ান লেজেন্ড বলেছিলেন যে it was a schoolboyish run out. So I ran again to Sourav's hotel room to get his reaction. আমাদের এসব অপ্রিয় কাজ করতে হয়, কি করব। তখন I saw Leander, Devang Gandhi had opened the room. Leander was preparing to take Sourav somewhere. আজকে 25 বছর পর জিজ্ঞেস করছি, was he a good Melbourne night tour guide?
I believe Leander is a good night boy. I believe so. I'm not sure, but
How did he perform in Melbourne?
He's been fantastic. You know, I had a surgery in 2003, and I was in hospital for 3 weeks. And Leander used to come every night to spend time with me.
Where was this?
It's in Bellevue. This was 2003.
Superb.
2003, young Leander. His father is a gem of a person. You know, he's a darling. You know, I've interacted with him various times because of cricket. And Leander used to come and spend
here
time
I'm
with
not
me.
talking about his father. I'm talking about city nightlife. Leander পৃথিবীর কোথায় কোথায় তোমায় নাইট লাইফ দেখিয়েছে?
কোথাও না, actually, not anywhere.
Melbourne, of course.
He actually has come and spent the night in my room, having coffee, having chatting, and then he would leave. I'm serious, and you know, he's young. Why not? There's no problem in that.
Leander, this is humiliation that you spent all the night sitting in his room having
Yeah, but why
coffee.
should he take me out in the night? He's got better people to take out in the night.
You know, but isn't it very
If,
interesting?
if I have to believe that Leander needs Sourav Ganguly in Melbourne on a Saturday night, I don't think he's doing the right things. Yeah. And
Leander,
he
your
was a
thoughts?
bachelor then. He was a bachelor then. He's still a bachelor. He's not like us who are married for 27, 28 years. You know, before your wife asks you where you're going, the daughter asks you where you're going because she's 22 years old. He doesn't have all those problems. So, you know, and there's nothing wrong in it. And I don't want him to spend a night in Melbourne with me, please.
You know, I'm going to take a second because not much has changed in the last 30 years. The journalist will still ask questions to get you into trouble.
Oh, so you have not taken Sourav Ganguly round. You two only sat in his room and had coffee.
Well, I'll answer your question this way, that I've followed this young man all throughout the world. Why? Because I truly have tremendous love and respect for him. And in that, whether it is so I don't drink any alcohol. I've never drunk in my entire life.
He's the same.
So I was just getting to that neither of us drink, neither of us smoke, neither of us do drugs, neither of us do any sort of lifestyle habits that would not allow us to achieve what we've achieved. So in that, when we get together, the conversations were always about how are you doing mentally, how are you doing physically, how is your ma and baba doing, how is family doing, and most importantly, how we can support each other, keep raising the bar to the next level. You know, I always feel that you become the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And those people that you surround yourself with, that you have respect for, you learn from, you share with, you have coffees, whether it's in Melbourne or London or Kolkata or anywhere, that it's not the span of time that you haven't seen each other, it's the quality of conversation you have when you do see each other.
Sourav, you must have watched Leander's speech when he got inducted in the Hall of Fame. What do you think of the speech?
No, he's just a fabulous person. You know, everything's from the heart. He's an emotional person. You get what you see. And I always like that sort of people. You know, whether it's good or bad, it's straight on your face. And I see that with Leander. That's the way he played his sport. And that's why he was so successful, because you cannot be successful for such a long period of time by not being what you are. And I think every time you meet Leander, every time you hear Leander, you know it's coming from the heart, and that's what he means. And I think that's the best part of his character.
Leander, we all watched that, you know, how emotional your speech was. I believe it just went on the internet like wildfire, it spread, your speech. What transpired after the thing? You know, we only watched television, the speech. After that, what transpired? What did people tell you, all the greats of the game?
You know, there are not many people in the world who are blessed like Sourav and myself to have such opportunities that God, life, our parents have given us. And one of the things that we've both tried to do is to always be ready for when that window of opportunity that life presents you opens. Because it doesn't come that frequently, you know. The opportunity to speak at the International Tennis Hall of Fame as the first Indian Asian male player to get inducted is a responsibility to portray not just the eloquence and the intellect of an Indian brain, but to inspire. As a young boy who played gully cricket, gully football in Park Circus outside the mithai shop, and if you played well, your baba would buy you one Rasgulla. To inspire the youth across the world, especially across our city and our country, that if you work hard enough, and if you have patience like Sourav Ganguly had, if you have intelligence like Sourav had, if you had the fire like I had, if you had the stubbornness that we both had, that we would not take a loss as a loss. We would take it as a learning experience. That was that opportunity to inspire the world. And in that, I truly believe that sport is the greatest vehicle to inspire people and not to just empower them, but to also raise the GDP of a country. Through sport, if you look at the Americas of the world, if you look at the Australias of the world, they've actually built a nation built on sport. Sport does not understand religion, caste, dialect, language, difference in color. A cricket ball or a tennis ball understands passion, hard work, sincerity. Those things, it's very important, I feel, for youngsters to look at the example of Sourav Ganguly and the greats of our country to learn from all of us. That if we can do it, anyone can be a champion in any walk of life.
Lovely. Just we have come to the end of it. If you had to borrow one quality, sporting quality from Ganguly, what would that be?
It would be a human quality. Class. This young man has a lot of class, and that's why I love him.
Lovely. Sourav, from Leander, what did you borrow?
On a serious note, his fight, the way he's competed on a tennis court. On a lighter note, how he has managed to stay bachelor for so long. I played Test cricket in '96 and got married in '97. My wife caught my ears and said, "Come, let's get married because you might fly away." So that's the second one which I want to learn. But that time has passed, so I just still want to learn.
See, that's a very dirty statement, not by a
No, it's not a
journalist.
dirty statement.
borrow
Don't
it. The
create
journalist
controversy.
needs to go back.
No, staying single is not dirty. Staying single is clever.
Clever? He's a clever man.
Very clever.
Okay, we will invite 3 questions from the audience. Otherwise, we will end the 3 questions from the audience. Kindly raise your hands and come to the stage. Just 3 questions from the audience. Yes, please. Chandan Rai Choudhury. Can you give them the microphone? Can you give him the microphone, please?
2 legend is here. I have a question to 2 legend. Same Indian is playing cricket, getting success. Same Indian is playing hockey, men, women getting success. But same Indian, when he's playing some other games, why not the same rate of success is coming? What is the main reason? As you said, opportunity or coach or something else.
He is the president of the Bengal Olympic Association. He wants to ask, why is it that India not performing sport other than hockey and cricket? Leander, showed up.
For me, do you have the infrastructure? You head the Bengal Olympic Association, isn't it? Do you think you have the infrastructure to produce champions?
Maybe not in Kolkata or Bengal, but other part of India.
But I think
I'm talking about the whole India. Same Indian when playing cricket, badminton, tennis, but why not in swimming or athletic or gymnastic
Or in football.
or
Yeah.
football? Particularly in football.
Football surprises me actually. You know, I really don't understand why we don't succeed in football. Cricket is unbelievable in India. You know, Gautamda will agree that every city, even the tier 2 cities, has the best facilities in the world. I remember going to Melbourne in 1991 as a young player. I was absolutely amazed to see the MCG, and for me at that stage it looked like unbelievable. But now you go to every place in India, you know, they have stadiums as good as the MCG. So I think infrastructure, facilities is very important. I really want to see India do well in football because football is one of my closest sport. When I go outside India, I watch football more than cricket. So I really don't understand why. Maybe strength, maybe skill, maybe the mind to succeed. So I really don't know if a Maradona can play from Argentina or a Zico can play from Argentina, why can somebody not play from here? So at times I'm really perplexed to understand why it doesn't happen. And I don't have an answer. But I can say from cricket has got the best infrastructure in the world. Indian cricket is miles ahead of everyone. And it will continue to be so.
Thank you. রাত্রির 10:30টার সময় বসে এত লোক স্পোর্টিং ডিসকাশন শুনছেন। It's a very unusual evening. 2 more questions we will invite.
Gautam da, can I take that question
Yeah,
quickly?
please.
Sir, I'm going to give you a scientific answer because this is the legacy that my parents transferred to me. My humble belief is that every champion we've had in India, whether it's Neeraj Chopra and javelin, India is not known for javelin. Whether it is boxing, whether it was shooting, whether it is badminton with Saina Nehwal and PV, whether it's in tennis, India is not known for it. But my humble belief is geographical genetics. And the reason I wanted to take this conversation is that in India, we don't do genome testing, genetic testing. We don't do genetic testing to understand a young child's strengths and weaknesses. If you measure the femur bone between the hip and the knee, you can actually tell the potential height of a person within 1 inch. If you measure the muscle density of a person, of a child, you can tell the strength that they will have. So in Sourav's example of Maradona being shorter, Leo Messi being shorter, but yet being world-class footballers, Leo Messi was genetically, medically announced as under height when he went to Barcelona, and in many academies they didn't pick him. Now in West Bengal, we are so talented at football, in the whole eastern region, in Goa, in Kerala, we're so talented at football. But yet we do not do genetic testing of our athletes to actually firstly check whether their feet are pronated, supinated or flat foot. We just think flat foot ache, cannot be an athlete. I am flat footed.
Really?
Yeah, completely flat footed with pronated feet. Hence, from the age of 6, my father's got me shoes which had high arches so that the flat foot can have an arch. So the body structure remains in a straight line. When you look at sports science, when you look at human genetics, using artificial intelligence, we can create data out of a person's genome testing, out of the blood. We can test the minerals, the vitamins, and accordingly see if there's a deficiency. For example, when Sourav goes to bat out for 4 hours to get his 100, you can bet he needs magnesium to recover the next day. Today, ice baths have become a big thing. But are we actually looking at a diet in a country of 1.4 billion people where religiously and culturally, even our diet is segmented? Jains don't even eat, let alone meats or fish, but they won't even touch milk or garlic or onions. But maybe as a professional athlete, or maybe as a banker, or maybe as a scientist, or maybe as whatever your profession is, customize your life, customize your diet, customize your sleep, surround yourself in your home or in your workplace to give yourself the best opportunity to succeed. So genetic testing is something huge that in the Olympic associations we should do. We should get out, as again Sourav touched, get out into the rural areas, get out into tier 2, tier 3, get out into the villages, because that's where the talent is, that's where the hunger is. Because in tier 1, all the children are now growing up with air conditions. How many parents here have had to buy their children smart gadgets? Mobile phone. Cano? Our classmates have mobile phone. iPad. Cano? Our classmates have iPad. Computers. Cano? Because I have to do my homework on my computer. If you look at countries like Russia, Serbia, war-torn countries, that's where the real athletes come out from. Because they use sport as a vehicle to enhance their lives. That hunger is something else.
Thank you, Leander. 2 more questions. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. Maybe it could be a controversial one.
Sujoy Ghosh, yes.
Yeah. Should sports be run by sportsmen, ex-champions, or by industrialists, or by bureaucrats? Because I'll tell you one thing, there are a lot of players like Franz Beckenbauer, Sebastian Go, Michel Platini. They ran their discipline very successfully, as far as I know. I don't know, we have a lot of problems in our country with lots of associations embroiled in a lot of infighting. And the Olympic Association is dismantling the association. I think the sport is suffering. Wrestling is one example very recently we faced.
Okay, should sports be run by
Right.
former sportsmen? Sourav?
Yes. If you ask a sportsman, I'll say yes. But I think it's a mixture of everything. There's no hard and fast rule of everything. You know, important thing is also about winning elections. To run sport, you have to win elections, and sometimes it's not possible for sportsmen because elections are different dynamics. So that also is there. But, you know, I actually believe that sportsmen should be involved in running of the game, because if Leander is involved in the Tennis Federation of India, I don't see he can do any harm. He can do the good thing, but whether he'll get elected, that's the question.
Leander, you running the AITA, how about that?
I got a great mentor here. He did a great job at BCCI. I wish he had gone to ICC. I think that, again, if you read into Sourav's answer, it's so perfect because finance should be done by the finance team. Legal should be done by the legal team. Business should be done by the businessmen. And running of the academies and the sport and the youth program should be done by the athletes. But more important, Papuda, is having the brain and the intelligence to put your ego aside and understand that any sport or any governance is greater than the self. And then have that human equity to bring everyone together. Today I want to take a second to recognize, especially from what I can see from the stage, two people who have done a phenomenal job of that from West Bengal. One is my brother Sourav, did a phenomenal job as a captain of the team as well as an administrator. And the other one is Mr. Ghosh, right in the front here, for empowering
Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh.
Mr. Chandrasekhar Ghosh, who started, founded and ran Bandhan Bank. What a wonderful human being. Not just because he took the bank to international stature, not just because he gave Sourav Ganguly the brand ambassadorship and not me. That's a different conversation. But for how he empowered women in rural areas, gave them 40,000 rupee loans, gave them 1 lakh loans, to give them an opportunity to live their dream. We need men and women like this who actually need to be shine a spotlight on by people like us to say that's how winning is done, is to empower the community.
Mr. Ghosh has indeed been a visionary. One last question, your last opportunity to ask to Golden Boys from the city, your last question. কে একটু সামনে এসে মাইক্রোফোন নিয়ে বললে ভালো হয়? একটু সামনে আসুন, আপনার পরিচয় দিন কাইন্ডলি, দিন বলুন।
Hello, Gautam da, Judhajit here. Hi, Sourav. So my question is to both of you, Leander and Sourav. Sourav, where do you think you would have reached had you picked up a tennis racket instead of cricket bat? And Leander, although you ran me out by a direct throw in a CCFC versus DKS friendly match, my question is whether you would become Jonty Rhodes or a Sourav Ganguly had you picked up a cricket bat?
সৌরভ, তার আগে বলি, যুধাজিৎ আজকেই একটা পার্টনারশিপের কথা বলছিল। You scored 100 against Mohanbagan for Rajasthan when you were an 18-year-old kid. ও বোধহয় নন স্ট্রাইকার ছিল, তাই তো?
হ্যাঁ, ও আমার সাথে অনেক খেলেছে, and he's a scholar actually. Baliganj government স্কুলে পড়তো, and he played the sport, but academically he was an absolute scholar. So what if I would have picked up the tennis racket? I would have tried to be as good. I don't know whether I would be as good, but looking at my temperament and looking at the way I go about small things in life, I would try to achieve the best. That's the way I am, that's my character, and I'm sure it's going to be Leander the same.
তখন লিয়েন্ডার মহেশ না হয়ে লিয়েন্ডার সৌরভ ডাবলস কম্বিনেশন হতো।
It would have been fantastic, but Leander, he wanted Leander to play cricket, so it could have been Leander Sachin opening.
Yes.
But just one moment. Would you become a doubles player or a singles player? My take would be you would have become a singles player.
See, at least somebody considers me fit. That I was fit enough to be a singles player in tennis. Because all my career, people thought that I was not as fit enough. So I used to tell people, get many people like me, who are not fit enough and still score 20,000 runs for India. So get it. So if it's so easy, I'm sure I must be exceptional. That not being fit, no training, no practice, and still 20,000 runs. So at least he considers me fit enough to play singles in a tennis court.
Leander.
Well, first of all, I want to apologize for running you out in a cricket match. Second of all, I've just given up a cricket match this evening to come here and be with all of you. And if I had taken up cricket, I would have 100% been clean bowled on the first ball.
Do you agree, Sourav? Leander would have been a fast bowler.
Leander, yeah, could have, and could have been a fast bowler, could have been a batsman. He would have been an exceptional fielder because he was very fit. At a young age, you could see the agileness and the detail to fitness which he had. But I'm happy that he has concentrated on tennis. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been Sourav Ganguly. So I'm happy that he concentrated on tennis.
I actually you got me dreaming now after that question, but can you imagine two boys from Kolkata having our name, Sourav Ganguly Leander Paes, on the scrolls at the All England Club at Wimbledon as doubles champions? I missed out on that opportunity.
এটার পর আর কোনো কথা হয় না, ladies and gentlemen, আজকে এটার পরে প্লিজ গিভ দেম আ রাউজিং রিসেপশন। আজকে দুজন গোল্ডেন সিটি বয়েজ, ভেরি মোমেন্টাস ওকেশন, যেখানে পুরো শহরের পক্ষ থেকে অনারেবল মেয়র ওদের রেকগনাইজ করলেন কন্ট্রিবিউশন থ্রু আ মানপত্র। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ লিয়েন্ডার, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ সৌরভ। নাও ইউড ইনভাইট সুজয় ঘোষ ফর দ্য ভোট অফ থ্যাঙ্কস প্লিজ। আর জাস্ট আপনারা এতক্ষণ ওয়েট করেছেন, জাস্ট আর কয়েক মিনিট যদি ওয়েট করেন। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ সৌরভ, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ লিয়েন্ডার, ইট ওয়াজ ওয়ান্ডারফুল। আপনাদের ভালো লেগেছে তো?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. আমি জানি আজকে এত বড় একটা সন্ধ্যা, এত ইভেন্টফুল সন্ধ্যার পর whatever I say, everybody would want my speech to end very soon. But I think I need to say something for this club over the years. I'm really truly privileged and honored to thank all of you on this momentous occasion as we inaugurate the new wing of DKS on a remarkable day when the Dragon capsule from outer space landed back after 286 days with our own Sunita Williams. Let's clap for Sunita Williams. We got her back after such a long time. Today marks not just the expansion of our club's facilities, but also a milestone in a journey of growth, community, and shared aspirations. What a memorable evening we are having in the presence of all our respectable dignitaries and our dear members. We are indeed grateful to have Leander and Sourav amidst us today. After spending 53 years in this institution, it will be a monumental task for me and will take hours to thank all the people who have contributed in fulfilling our dreams at DKS in its present form from the early days when we were known as a cricketing and tennis club at Deshapur Park. First and foremost, we wish to thank all our founder members, which Shona has already said, so I do not want to repeat on that, but a few names. Sudhanshu Kaka, Nirmal Kaka, Narayan Sen, Bandoda, S.N. Deb, Bhojori Ganguly, R.S. Mukherjee, Gulli Bose, Kalyan Sen, Anuj Dashgupta, Sunit Tyagi, Joyanto Ganguly, Orijit Go, Chitrak Mitro. Some of them are not with us, but they have contributed immensely for our progress. Late N.G. Bose, late B.K. Shah, Sri Monish Gupta, Sri Jahosh Sarkar, Sri Prasad Ranjan Ray, and all the general secretaries of the executive committee, members of the past, guided us over the years for us to reach this level. Though Shona has already mentioned, still I would like to once again fondly recollect that this vision of transformation of DKS was first conceptualized by our then General Secretary Kachuda way back in the 70s, when he wanted to lead the club in a different path from purely a sports club to a more balanced sports and social club. And later on, this idea was brilliantly executed by Shona, Hiranmoy Chatterjee. Shona to all of us. His ethics, his honor, integrity, vision, intellect, passion, and humility has brought us thus far. Our dear President, Sri Debashish Kumar, has been a tremendous source of inspiration and has been present in all our different activities, be it sports or cultural or all our club events. His valuable inputs, support at all times regarding the ultimate completion of the complex has always inspired us. Thank you very much, sir. Without you, we would not have done anything. Special thanks, of course, to all the architects already mentioned by Shona. I would like to specially thank, I mentioned the names of Tomal Kanti De, Ojoy Sen, Deepnaran Sarkar, Ketan Seth, Rahul Bhomik, Siddhartha Datta, and Prakash Gurnani for being with Shona in the past 20 years. Now, a lot of us have joined in the bandwagon, but these men was with Shona always. A word of mention for Joshodini Ray for taking care of the tennis section for the last 30 years. Thank you, Joshodini. Also to mention Debopriyo Das Rishi, who has been instrumental in organizing all international events with great success over the years. Big thank you to Bharat Dhamala, who volunteered and took up the challenge to bring the FMB section of the club to a different height with his team. No words are enough to appreciate the efforts of the recently formed DKS Ladies Circle, who have greatly enhanced the involvement of our ladies members during the last 7 months by organizing various events with great amount of success. We are immensely indebted to them for lifting the spirit of the club. Some of the lady members have also showcased their talents in art and craft, in enhancing the look of the interiors of the new wing. It would be totally remiss of me if I failed once again. Shona has spoken about his wife, but I wish to mention once again the sustained efforts and dedication that Srimati Debjani Chatterjee has put in over the last 7 months in completing the various facades and aspects of the aesthetically beautiful new wing against all odds, along with Srimati Swagata Guo of Finesse. Therefore, it is with immense pleasure that we at DKS acknowledge your arduous efforts and say big thank you with a grateful heart. May I have that opportunity to mention that 7 months ago, I forced her into this, and I should also take a credit of it. A special mention to Bishwajit Sinare for jumping off from the hospital bed after major surgery to be greatly involved in the celebrations. Bob Roy deserves credit for lifting up his spirit. They are contributing immensely in marketing and publicity. The new wing is more than a physical space. It represents the spirit of unity, progress, and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. It will serve as a hub for new ideas, collaborations, and monuments of joy that will strengthen the bonds of our community. A special thank goes out to the various valued sponsors for the invaluable support throughout the years. Your contributions have played a crucial role. As we step into this new chapter, let us remember the true essence of a club is not just its walls, but the people who fill it with energy, enthusiasm, and a shared purpose. May this new wing be a place where friendships flourish, talents shine, and our club's legacy continues to grow. I take this opportunity to wish our CEO, Sri Kushal Banerjee, the office staff, the FMB staff, and all the newly inducted staffs, all the best to them for the future. Last but not the least, we humbly thank the government of West Bengal, the Kolkata Municipal Corporation, the police authorities, and the press and the electronic media for their cooperation. Once again, thank you all for being with us this evening and for being an integral part of this remarkable journey. Let's celebrate this moment and look forward to an exciting future at DKS, not just a club, but an institution to be proud of. Thank you very much.
I'll just take 30 seconds. এই ক্লাবে বেশ কয়েকটা যারা ক্লাবের সঙ্গে জড়িত জানেন যে 7টা রুম করা হয়েছে, যে রুমগুলোর ছবি আপনারা এভিতে দেখেছেন, প্রায় 5 স্টার হোটেলের মতো রুমগুলো। 2টো রুম ডিকেএস ডেডিকেট করছে দুজনের নামে, একটা সৌরভ গাঙ্গুলির নামে, একটা লিয়েন্ডার পেজের নামে। ওরা যখন ইচ্ছে রুমে এসে থাকতে পারেন, নিজেদের মিটিং করতে পারেন। ওই রুমগুলো এখন ওরা আনভেল করবেন, সৌরভ আর লিয়েন্ডার। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। কেউ ডিনার না খেয়ে যাবেন না, আর যে কোনো বড় ওকেশনের শেষে যেরকম বলা হয় দুগ্গা দুগ্গা। ডিনার নিচে এবং ওপরে কেউ না খেয়ে যাবেন না, গেরস্থের অকল্যাণ হবে। ধন্যবাদ, শুভরাত্রি।